Let your breath soften as you settle into the quiet of this moment, feeling the last remnants of the day loosening their hold on your body and mind. Imagine the gentle hush of a twilight forest around you, a sanctuary where even your heaviest thoughts are welcomed without judgment, then allowed to drift away like pale leaves on a slow-moving stream. Rest in the stillness that rises within you, the calm presence of the Buddha's wisdom glowing softly at the center of your awareness, steady as moonlight on water. With each inhale, invite peace to enter. With each exhale, allow struggle to dissolve. Let yourself be guided by this inner light, knowing that the path to freedom begins simply by being here, breathing, and allowing the heart to soften. The evening settles softly around you as you arrive at the beginning of a forest path, the last traces of daylight stretching like gentle brushstrokes across the sky. The world feels hushed, as though the trees themselves are holding their breath, welcoming you into a sanctuary untouched by hurry or noise. Each step you take sinks quietly into the earth, warm with the memory of the day and cool with the promise of night. You feel the air around you shifting, soothing, almost as if it recognizes the weight you've been carrying and is already beginning to ease it from your shoulders. Ahead, the path glows faintly, an amber radiance, delicate and steady, like the final flicker of a lantern, guiding a traveler home. You do not know where it leads, but something within you softens at the sight. You understand, without words, that this path has been waiting for you. The struggles you've held inside, the thoughts that have tangled and tightened over time, the quiet ache you've tried to ignore, all of them are gently acknowledged here, without judgment. The forest seems to whisper that you are safe, profoundly safe, and that tonight will be a journey inward toward the peace you've longed for. As you walk, the light around you dims gradually, not into darkness, but into a deep, embracing twilight. Shapes blur, edges soften, and every sound becomes round and muted. The chirping of crickets folds into the distant hoot of an owl, and the faint rustling of leaves overhead feels like a lullaby composed by nature itself. You breathe in, slow and deep. The air tastes of cedar and cool moss, ancient and comforting. With each breath, something inside you loosens, as though your worries are dissolving like mist in the fading sun. You begin to sense a presence, not outside, but within you, spacious and calm. It is a presence that has always been there, though often overlooked. This presence feels like a gentle hand resting lightly on your back, guiding you forward with infinite patience. The Buddha's teachings live within this presence, not as commands or doctrines, but as a soft light that quietly illuminates your way. You feel it in the warmth in your chest, in the softness settling through your thoughts, in the slowing rhythm of your steps. The path becomes smoother beneath your feet, the ground level and cool. The forest thickens around you, branches arching above like a natural cathedral. Leaves shimmer faintly with the last breaths of twilight, creating a canopy of dusky gold. You pause for a moment, placing a hand over your heart, feeling the way it beats. Steadier now, calmer. It is as though the very act of walking this path is allowing your inner world to unwind. Your body loosens, your mind softens, your spirit feels seen. As you continue deeper, the soft amber light ahead begins to shift, becoming pale and silvery, the way moonlight touches water. Your thoughts grow quieter still. You notice how natural it feels to let them drift away, like leaves caught in a gentle stream. There is no effort here, no pushing or resisting, just a gradual easing, a sinking into the rhythm of the forest and the steadiness of your own breath. A feeling arises within you. Suffering begins to end the moment you understand it, and understanding begins the moment you allow yourself to see clearly. Walking this path, you sense the truth of that. You are invited not to banish pain, nor to cling to peace, but simply to walk with awareness. The Buddha's compassion is not a distant concept. It feels close now, woven into the path, into the silence, into the gentle unfolding of each new step. The forest opens slightly, letting a soft breeze drift through. It brushes your skin with cool fingers and carries with it the faintest scent of sandalwood. You follow the breeze, letting it guide you as naturally as a river follows its own curves. The light ahead brightens, spreading into a wide, luminous glow between the trees. It calls to you, not urgently but with a tender, quiet promise. A promise that what you seek is not far, and that the wisdom to ease your struggles is already beginning to stir within you. The path widens as you approach the glow, and you notice the faint outline of a clearing forming ahead. The trees begin to thin, their silhouettes dark against a growing veil of gentle radiance. Your steps slow, not from hesitation, but from a sense of reverence, as though you are approaching a sacred space where something meaningful is waiting to be revealed. You move forward, feeling the air grow lighter, clearer, almost shimmering with possibility. In the heart of the clearing, a soft golden light pulses like a quiet heartbeat. You sense that the Buddha is there, not as a figure to worship, but as a compassionate teacher ready to share the first gentle truth that will help dissolve the struggles you've carried for so long. And as you step into the clearing, the peaceful glow embraces you fully, inviting you to listen, to truly listen, as the Buddha begins his first teaching. The clearing glows with a warm golden stillness as you step fully into its embrace, the quiet pulse of light in its center, softening your breath and calming the space behind your eyes. Here, time seems to slow into something gentle and spacious, wide enough to hold whatever you've carried with you. The air feels different, cleaner, almost shimmering with a sense of deep understanding that does not demand anything from you. You feel as though the forest itself is exhaling, encouraging you to do the same. And as your breath lengthens, the glow ahead brightens, revealing the serene figure of the Buddha seated beneath a broad Bodhi tree, his presence as tranquil as still water under moonlight. He looks upon you not with expectation, but with a compassion so vast and steady that even your quietest fears begin to loosen. You feel no need to hide anything from this gaze, no worry, no sorrow, no fragment of heaviness that has lingered in your chest. The Buddha invites you, silently, to simply be exactly as you are. There is no strain in this space, no pressure to fix yourself, only the soft, patient truth that understanding begins when you allow yourself to rest. You take a slow step closer and then another. The ground beneath your feet feels cool and grounding, as though the earth is offering its strength to support you. When you finally settle before the Buddha, sitting or standing just as your body prefers, you sense a gentle shift inside you. The tangled threads of thought begin to separate, becoming easier to see, easier to breathe around. Then, without a single word spoken aloud, the Buddha shares his first truth. Not heavy, not frightening, but clear and tender. All beings experience suffering, not because they are flawed, not because they have failed, but because they are alive in a world that moves and shifts and changes like water flowing over stone. This truth touches your heart with surprising softness. Suffering is not a punishment here. It is not a personal defect. It is simply something that arises, just as clouds gather across a sky. And just as clouds eventually drift on, suffering too passes when conditions change. You imagine those clouds now, slow, pale shapes drifting overhead, each one carrying a familiar burden, a moment of worry, a memory of disappointment, a heaviness you kept tucked away. You watch them hover gently, then gradually dissolve into the fading blue. Nothing clings. Nothing stays forever. As you breathe, you begin to see your own struggles this way. Moments that once felt sharp now feel distant, softened by understanding. The Buddha's presence makes it safe to acknowledge what has hurt you, not to relive it, but to see it with new clarity. The warmth around you grows, wrapping you in a quiet reassurance. You do not need to fear your suffering. It is simply a visitor, not your identity. A cool breeze travels through the clearing, carrying with it the scent of jasmine and cedar, stirring the leaves above your head. The breeze seems to whisper that by recognizing suffering, you create the first opening through which peace can enter. Awareness itself becomes a lantern, a small, steady flame that brightens the longer you allow it to burn. This lantern does not attempt to chase darkness away. It simply illuminates what is already here, gently revealing the shape of your inner world so you can understand it with kindness rather than fear. In the soft glow, you notice how your shoulders begin to sink, how your breath drops deeper into your belly, how your mind, once quick and layered, now drifts slowly like a feather settling onto calm water. Suffering, when seen clearly, loses its power to overwhelm you. It becomes something you can sit with, breathe with, and eventually release. The Buddha's gaze remains steady, as though he sees your unfolding calm and blesses it. His wisdom surrounds you like the glow of the lantern, steady, warm, unwavering. You sense that this light will guide you long after tonight, reminding you that recognition is not the end of the path, but the beginning. By seeing suffering clearly, you open the door to understanding its roots. You open the door to freedom. The golden light in the clearing begins to shift subtly, stretching outward like rays searching for new places to illuminate. In the far corner of the space, you notice a faint shimmer, another source of gentle brightness emerging between the trees. It glows like a lantern suspended in the air, beckoning softly, promising deeper clarity and insight. Drawn toward it, your heart steadies with a calm curiosity, ready to follow wherever this luminous path leads next. The soft shimmer you noticed in the distance grows steadier as you approach, its glow pulsing like the quiet heartbeat of the forest itself. The light hangs just above the ground, suspended in the dusk, like a single star that has drifted too low and come to rest among the trees. As you draw closer, you see it for what it is, a small, humble lantern, its frame crafted from delicate wood, its sides made of thin paper that glows with a warm, amber radiance. The lantern does not flicker, nor does it demand attention. It simply shines, steady, calm, patient. You pause before it, sensing that this lantern carries a quiet wisdom meant for you. The Buddha remains back in the clearing, watching with serene approval, allowing you to approach this next part of the journey in your own time. The lantern's soft light spreads across the forest floor, revealing smooth stones, tiny blossoms, and the subtle movement of leaves stirred by your breath. You kneel or stand before it as you choose, and the lantern's glow deepens, embracing you in its warmth. As you relax into its presence, you begin to sense the truth it holds, a truth not spoken in words but shown through gentle illumination. The light grows brighter at the center, then softens at the edges, and you realize it is not merely shining into the forest. It is shining into you. Slowly, without effort, you begin to see the subtle movements of your inner world, as though this lantern makes visible what was once hidden in shadow. You recognize small tensions, the ones that sit quietly in the chest, behind the breath, along the shoulders. You see thoughts that tug in several directions at once, thoughts that whisper of wanting things to be different from how they are. And in those gentle shadows, you sense the roots from which suffering grows, craving, aversion, and the holding tight to whatever feels familiar. The lantern's glow brightens slightly, and you watch these roots, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Like the patterns of tree roots beneath soft earth, your inner patterns reveal themselves gradually. Perhaps there is craving for comfort, for certainty, for approval. Perhaps there is resistance to change, to uncertainty, to letting go. Perhaps there is clinging to old stories, long after they ceased to serve you. These roots are not mistakes. They are simply natural responses to a world that is always shifting. Seeing them is not a burden. It is a gift. You breathe in slowly, letting your chest expand, and the lantern brightens. You breathe out, letting your body soften, and the shadows gently recede. With each breath, the roots become clearer, easier to understand. And you begin to realize that what once felt tangled and heavy is actually just a collection of habits, born from moments when you wanted peace and did not know how to find it. There is no shame here, only understanding. The forest around you seems to listen, the trees quietly witnessing your unraveling layers of insight. A cool breeze slips between the branches, brushing your skin with a touch that feels like compassion itself. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the lantern's warmth wash through you. In its glow, nothing inside you is judged. Nothing is rejected. Everything is simply seen. When you open your eyes again, the lantern's light appears even more vivid. It now illuminates not just the roots of pain, but the spaces around them, the spaces where new possibilities can grow. You notice the stillness beneath the habit of craving, the tenderness beneath the habit of resistance, the quiet longing for freedom beneath the habit of clinging. These realizations settle gently into your awareness, soft and luminous. The lantern seems to sense that you are ready for its full message. Understanding is the beginning of release. When you see the roots of suffering clearly, they loosen on their own. The way vines fall away from a tree, when the wind shifts direction. There is no need to force anything, no need to tear away what has grown over time. Awareness itself is enough. You take one more slow breath, feeling how the lantern's glow has begun to sync with the rhythm of your inhale and exhale. Its light becomes part of you, steady, warm, illuminating. You feel lighter than before, as though something inside you has unknotted, creating room for peace to settle deeper. The lantern's glow begins expanding outward, creating a soft, golden path between the trees. Its light stretches gently ahead, guiding you toward the next part of your journey. And as you rise, you sense that the Buddha's next teaching is waiting just beyond this radiant path, ready to show you how to release what you now understand. The golden path stretches before you like a ribbon of warm light, winding gently between the trees. As you follow it, your body grows lighter, as if each step loosens a single thread of tension woven through your chest. The air becomes softer here, filled with the scent of pine and faint sandalwood, and the world seems to exhale with you. Leaves sway in a slow, soothing rhythm overhead, whispering reminders that nothing in nature clings, not the branches to last season's foliage, not the wind to a single direction, not the clouds to any fixed form. Everything rises, shifts and fades. Everything lets go. You come to a quiet rise in the path where the earth opens into a small overlook. Below you, a valley sleeps beneath the deepening dusk, its fields painted in muted gold and purple. The mountains in the distance stand steady and unmoving, yet their shapes appear softened by the evening light. Even the mountains, solid as they are, seem to surrender themselves to the quiet of the night. You stand there for a moment, breathing in the calm that drifts up from the valley floor, and you feel the first true whisper of release begin inside you. A gentle warmth touches your shoulder, not a hand, not a presence you can see, but a feeling, steady and patient. The Buddha's teaching reaches you not through words, but through the silent invitation to loosen your grip on everything you've been holding so tightly. The memories you revisit too often, the expectations that exhaust you, the fears that whisper just beneath your thoughts. Each one is gently placed before you, not to judge, but to notice. And noticing, you feel how heavy they truly are. You feel how much energy it takes to carry them. The Buddha's voice, soft as a breeze, arises within your awareness. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is allowing space for peace to enter. You inhale deeply, and in that breath, you gather the tension that lives in your chest. In the exhale, you release it. Not all at once, but enough to feel something shift. Enough to feel the beginning of spaciousness. You breathe again, and again the breath carries away another thin layer of strain. With each exhale, a little more of what burdens you dissolves into the air, becoming as weightless as mist drifting across the valley below. You feel your hands relax, your jaw softens, the muscles in your back loosen, as if they too are remembering how to let go. The light surrounding the golden path brightens slightly, warmed by your willingness to release. This act of surrender is not forceful. It is gentle, patient, kind, like opening your fingers after realizing you've been clenching them for too long. The Buddha's teaching continues to unfold within you. When you stop grasping, you discover the open hand of peace. You imagine holding out your hands now, palms open to the evening breeze. In your mind, you place your worries there, one by one, without rushing, without pushing anything away. You watch them rest in your palms like small stones, simple and solid. Then, with a soft exhale, you loosen your hands. The stones lift, gently, effortlessly, carried upward by the warm wind that rises from the valley. You watch them drift higher, higher still, until they melt into the twilight sky, like fading echoes of old stories. A quiet relief moves through your body, subtle but unmistakable. The act of releasing has created room inside you, room for breath, room for clarity, room for peace. You feel lighter now, lighter in a way that promises more freedom ahead. And as you continue to breathe, something else becomes clear. Letting go is not a single moment. It is a soft practice, a tender invitation you learn to accept again and again. It is the art of setting down what does not serve you, so that your hands and your heart remain open to what can. The breeze shifts again, carrying the distant sound of a temple bell. The tone is deep and soothing, rolling through the valley like a slow wave of calm. You close your eyes, letting the sound vibrate gently through you. In its resonance, you feel the truth that freedom begins where clinging ends. The bell fades into silence, leaving behind a stillness that feels almost luminous. When you open your eyes, the golden path ahead glows more brightly than before. Its light has softened into a warm, balanced glow, neither too bright nor too dim, just steady, just true. As you step forward again, you sense that this path is guiding you toward a deeper wisdom, one that teaches not only how to release struggle, but how to walk through life with ease and balance. You follow the path as it begins to level out, its light merging with the soft hues of dusk, leading you gently toward the understanding of harmony that awaits just beyond the next bend. The golden path beneath your feet begins to settle into an even, steady glow, no longer bright with urgency, nor dim with uncertainty. Its warmth feels measured, harmonious, like the soft pulse of a peaceful heart. As you walk, you notice that the forest around you has grown quiet, not from stillness alone, but from a sense of perfect equilibrium. The wind moves gently through the branches, neither forceful nor still. The temperature hovers in a comforting space between cool and warm. Even the fading daylight feels balanced, hovering delicately between day and night. This sense of perfect in-between draws your attention inward, inviting you to feel the subtle rhythm of your own breath. Inhale, and the body opens. Exhale, and the body softens. The breath expands, then releases. It rises, then falls. This gentle cycle mirrors the world around you. Everything in nature moves in rhythms, in tides, in slow arcs between opposing forces. Nothing holds to one extreme for long. Nothing can. As you continue walking, the Buddha's presence begins to gather beside you, not as a physical figure, but as a subtle radiance, a quiet wisdom settling into your awareness. His teaching arises like a whisper shaped from moonlight and wind. Peace is found not by clinging to one side or the other, but by walking the balanced path between them. You take another slow breath, feeling how the middle way speaks not only to the mind, but also to the body. It is a gentle posture, neither tense nor collapsed. It is a quiet heart, neither hardened nor overwhelmed. It is a mind that knows how to release excess effort, yet remain awake and present. The path under your feet widens slightly, and you sense that it represents the spaciousness that comes with balance. Life feels less narrow when extremes no longer pull you side to side. Above you, a bird glides across the twilight sky, wings stretched wide but not straining. Every movement it makes is precise, effortless, guided by a natural intelligence. You watch it, drift through the air with the elegance of something that trusts its own instincts. The middle way feels like this, like moving forward without forcing, choosing your steps with presence rather than pressure. As you walk, you recall moments when you pushed yourself too hard, believing effort alone would bring peace, and moments when you withdrew too deeply, hoping numbing or avoidance would bring relief. Neither path led where you hoped, yet here, in this balanced space, your breath flows with ease, unhurried and unburdened. The Buddha's teaching becomes clear. Peace does not come from extremes. Peace arises when you step gently into the middle, allowing awareness to hold everything: joy and sorrow, effort and rest, light and shadow, with equal compassion. A soft glow appears on the right side of the path. Tiny fireflies drifting in slow spirals, their lights flickering like miniature lanterns. They illuminate patches of moss and small stone ridges, revealing that the path is neither entirely smooth nor entirely rough. It holds challenges and comforts alike, woven together in harmony. You step carefully, feeling how naturally your body adjusts, lifting higher for uneven stones, sinking lightly into the soft moss. There is no resistance here, only cooperation with what arises. Your heart begins to quiet in a deeper way, settling into a rhythm that feels ancient. The middle way is not a rule. It is a living wisdom, a deep remembering of how all beings find their truest form of peace. You sense that if you lived only for pleasure, you would drown in craving. If you lived only in denial, you would shrink into emptiness. But here, in balance, you feel the first stirrings of true freedom. In the silence, you feel the Buddha's compassion wash through you like warm wind. Walk gently, the teaching seems to say. Walk with awareness. Walk with kindness toward yourself. The path will rise to meet your feet. Ahead, the light of the path begins to shift, softening into shades of blue and silver. The trees thin out, revealing an open space where the earth levels into a smooth platform of stone. Embedded in the far side of the clearing, you see an ancient bell tower rising from the earth, its wooden frame worn by decades of moonlight and wind. Hanging within it is a single great bell, still and silent. Just as you take another step, A breeze stirs through the clearing, carrying a low, resonant hum that vibrates gently through your chest. The bell has not been struck by any visible hand, yet its tone moves through the air with a profound calm, deep, soothing, unmistakably sacred. The sound washes over you, drawing you toward the clearing where silence and stillness seem to gather in reverence, ready to guide you toward the deeper quiet that lies ahead. The deep hum of the bell settles into the air like a gentle tide, its resonance lingering long after the sound has faded. As the vibration melts into silence, the golden blue path guides your eyes forward, where the forest gradually gives way to a serene, open courtyard. Stone tiles lie beneath a soft dusting of fallen blossoms, their petals glowing faintly under the rising moonlight. At the far end, partially hidden by drifting mist, stands a small temple, simple in shape, timeless in presence, built of smooth stone and warm wood worn by countless seasons of wind, rain, and wandering pilgrims. Wind chimes hang from its eaves, fashioned from bamboo and delicate bronze. Each movement of the air sends a soft cascade of tones into the night, not bright or sharp, but hushed, like whispers from an old friend who understands the language of your tired heart. The closer you come, the quieter your body becomes, as if the temple's stillness is already reaching toward you, drawing you into its calm embrace. You step onto the temple threshold, and the wooden boards beneath your feet feel cool and grounding. The air inside is different, more spacious, softer, almost silky in texture. A faint smell of incense lingers, not overwhelming but subtle, carrying hints of lotus and smoke that have settled into the walls over centuries of devotion and meditation. The way the scent rises and falls with your breath makes you realize how deeply your mind longs for rest. Toward the center of the temple sits the Buddha, illuminated by the gentle flicker of a single oil lamp. His posture is relaxed yet steady, the perfect harmony of ease and clarity. His eyes are half open, half resting, mirroring the threshold state between waking and dreaming. His presence is not imposing. It feels like a tranquil invitation to finally set everything down. You approach and choose a place to sit, whether on a cushion or the smooth stone floor. The moment your body settles, something within you settles as well. The air grows still around you, as if honoring your arrival. The wind chimes outside ring only occasionally, their delicate notes drifting through the open doorway like small waves of peace. The Buddha does not speak, and yet you feel guided. His silence is not empty. It is full of understanding, full of kindness, full of the deep reassurance that you do not need to try so hard anymore. You can simply be. You can let the silence hold you the way a calm lake holds the reflection of the moon, gently, effortlessly, without expectation. Your breath begins to slow on its own. Inhale softly. Exhale even softer. You can feel the subtle unwinding of tension at the base of your skull, behind your eyes, across your shoulders. The more you sit in this stillness, the more your thoughts begin to space themselves out, like stars drifting across a vast night sky. Each one passes without needing your effort or attention. They rise, shimmer for a moment, and dissolve into the distance. The Buddha's serenity becomes a mirror for your own. His stillness teaches through presence. Silence is not the absence of life. It is the ground from which clarity grows. You let this truth rest lightly inside you. Outside, a soft breeze brushes past the wind chimes, and the tones ripple into the temple, with a sweetness so gentle it feels like a lullaby meant just for you. The sound curls around your body, settling into your muscles, easing them open like petals unfolding in moonlight. You begin to sense that beneath the constant noise of your days, beneath every worry, beneath every thought that pulls or presses on your spirit, there is a quiet core, an unshaken center that has always been here. Tonight, you are finally sinking into that center. You are rediscovering the still point that lives within you, the place where effort ends and rest begins. The Buddha's half-smile deepens almost imperceptibly, as though he can see this shift taking root inside you. You feel warmth spread through your chest, a gentle glow that softens the edges of your breathing. The silence grows deeper, not heavy but nurturing, like a soft blanket placed over your awareness. In this quiet, you sense something new emerging. Not a thought, not a message, but a soft reassurance that you are safe. You are supported. You are allowed to rest. Outside, the breeze quiets once more. The wind chimes fall still. The forest holds its breath. Everything around you becomes a single, seamless moment of peace. You inhale, feeling the air move like silk through your lungs. You exhale, feeling your body release a final thread of tension you didn't realize you still carried. The temple, the night, the Buddha's presence, all of it flows together into the one harmonious stillness. And in this sanctuary of quiet, you feel a gentle pull within your awareness, an invitation to move inward, toward the soft, steady rhythm of your breath waiting just ahead, ready to guide you deeper into calm. The quiet of the temple settles around you like a soft blanket of moonlit air, and for a long moment you simply sit, held by the silence. Then slowly, your awareness begins to turn inward, as naturally as a flower turning toward the sun. The Buddha's stillness seems to guide your attention to the gentle rise and fall within your own body, the place where breath shapes itself into life, into calm, into presence. You inhale lightly, and the breath feels cool, refreshing, like the first sip of clear water from a mountain spring. You exhale, and the warmth of your breath softens the space behind your ribs. Inhale, a quiet expansion. Exhale, a tender release. There is no need to deepen the breath or control it, only to notice how it moves, how it carries you, how it becomes a soft companion in the stillness. As your awareness settles on the breath, something remarkable begins to happen. The simple rhythm starts to take on the quality of flowing water, not fast, not forceful, but smooth and effortless. Each inhale gathers gently, like a river swelling as it meets the evening rain. Each exhale releases, with the calm grace of water gliding over smooth stones. Your breath becomes a river within you, flowing from the crown of your head down through your chest, settling deep into your belly before gently returning. With every cycle, tension begins to melt. At first, it loosens from the shoulders, then from the muscles along your spine, then from the small, hidden places you often forget to soothe. Even the thoughts that rest quietly at the edges of your mind begin to soften, drifting away like fallen leaves carried downstream by the river of your breathing. The Buddha's presence remains calm beside you, silent yet profoundly supportive. His teaching arises not in spoken words, but in the feeling that fills your body. The breath is your anchor. The breath is your refuge. The breath returns you to the only moment that truly exists, the present. You breathe into that truth. The river flows more smoothly now, and you begin to sense that the breath is clearing a space inside you, washing away the residue of old worries and the echoes of unfinished tasks. It is not erasing anything, just letting it drift downstream, making room for stillness to grow. With your inner river flowing gently, the walls of the temple fade from focus. The boundaries of the room soften, and in your mind's eye you find yourself seated beside an actual river, a calm, moonlit stream winding through a quiet valley. The water glows faintly as it moves, picking up the light of the sky, creating shimmering patterns that dance across the surface. The river's movement matches the rhythm of your breath so perfectly that you cannot tell where your body ends and the water begins. You feel yourself becoming part of this flow, steady and serene. The air around the river is cool and fresh, scented with wild grass and distant pine. Crickets hum softly in the underbrush. A faint mist hovers above the water, drifting lazily across the valley. Everything feels slow, peaceful, deeply connected. You sense that this river has been flowing long before you arrived and will continue long after you leave, just as your breath has moved through your life without demanding attention, carrying you quietly from moment to moment. You watch as the water glides past stones, smoothed by time, slipping through reeds that bend with tenderness rather than resistance. You notice how the river never rushes, never strains to reach its destination. It simply moves, without hesitation, without urgency. And in this gentle movement, you find a profound teaching. Presence does not push. Presence allows. As you inhale, you imagine drawing the cool, shimmering water up through your body, refreshing and cleansing. As you exhale, you release any lingering tension into the stream, letting the water carry it away without judgment. Breathing becomes a quiet conversation with the river, an exchange of peace, of clarity, of ease. Gradually, the river begins to narrow in your mind's eye. The wide open curves draw into a smaller, more intimate stream, winding between soft banks of moss and smooth stones. Your breath matches this narrowing, becoming even gentler, even more delicate, like silk floating in warm air. You feel more present now, more grounded, as though the narrowing stream is guiding your awareness toward a deeper part of yourself, a place where mindfulness begins to bloom naturally. The stream flows on, quiet and purposeful, inviting your attention to follow it. The Buddha's presence remains beside you, a steady glow of compassion that illuminates the path ahead. And as the stream continues its gentle winding, it leads you toward a landscape where the art of simply noticing, the heart of mindfulness, waits to reveal itself. The stream narrows into a gentle ribbon of water that winds quietly through a clearing, its surface smooth enough to reflect the pale glow of the moon above. You follow its path with calm attention, noticing how the water moves without effort, how it accepts every curve of the earth without resistance. This simple movement teaches a truth you've always known, but rarely paused long enough to feel. Life becomes softer when you stop trying to force each moment into a shape it was never meant to hold. As you settle beside the stream, the Buddha's presence draws near, not as a figure, but as a warm awareness that fills the air around you. You sense his teaching arising in the space between your breaths, subtle yet unmistakable. Mindfulness is the gentle art of seeing things exactly as they are without grasping, without pushing away. A soft breeze glides across the clearing, stirring the branches above you. From those branches, a few leaves loosen and drift downward. Their quiet descent seems to slow time itself. Each leaf spins lightly, caught in the breeze before settling on the stream's surface. Instead of sinking, they float gracefully, carried along by the gentle current. You watch them without expectation, just watching, just noticing. One leaf dances in small circles before settling into a smooth glide. Another drifts close to the bank, its edges catching faint ripples that guide it into the open flow. A third leaf seems to hover near the center, turning slowly, as if choosing its pace before continuing on. As you observe their journey, you begin to understand the Buddha's teaching more deeply. Thoughts arise in the same way. They loosen from the branches of the mind, drift into awareness, and move according to conditions, not by your command, not by your will. In the same way that you cannot stop a leaf from falling or change its path across the water, you cannot control every thought, nor do you need to. Your breath settles. Your body softens. The river of your awareness becomes wide and calm. Another leaf drifts down, and this time you imagine placing a thought upon it, a memory, a worry, a small whisper of doubt. You watch it float. It wavers slightly, then finds its rhythm. It drifts on without effort, without you needing to chase it or pull it closer. This is mindfulness, not engagement, not avoidance, but gentle seeing. The Buddha's presence radiates a quiet affirmation. When you observe without clinging, the mind becomes clear. When the mind becomes clear, peace naturally arises. You let this teaching settle into your chest like warm light. You feel how often you have tried to hold on to thoughts, grasping them tightly, fearing their disappearance. And you feel how often you have pushed others away, trying not to think or feel them. But here, with the drifting leaves, you realize there is another way, to let thoughts appear and disappear on their own, allowing them to be part of your inner landscape without becoming the whole of it. You close your eyes gently, feeling the cool night air brushing your face. Behind your closed lids, thoughts appear, some bright, some dim, some soft, some sharp. Instead of pushing them away, you simply watch. A memory floats by like a leaf. A worry flickers like a brief shadow. A small hope shines like moonlight caught on water. Nothing stays. Nothing needs to. When you open your eyes again, the stream continues its quiet journey. More leaves drift along its surface, some new, some nearly dissolved. You notice that the stream carries everything without preference. It holds the vibrant leaves and the faded ones alike, guiding each along its natural course. There is no clinging here, no resistance, only movement, only flow. A sense of spaciousness opens within you. It feels like standing in a wide meadow after a storm, the air fresh and filled with the scent of renewal. You breathe in deeply, and the breath feels like a gentle clearing of the mind. You breathe out slowly, and the exhale becomes a soft release of everything unnecessary. You sense the Buddha's compassion flowing around you, as steady as the stream. Mindfulness is kindness toward your own experience, his presence seems to say. Let yourself be spacious enough to hold all things lightly. As you rise from your place beside the water, you notice that the stream is widening again. Ahead of you, the trees begin to part, revealing a soft openness waiting in the distance. The leaves continue drifting forward, carried toward that expanding space. Their movement feels purposeful, as if guiding you toward whatever awaits beyond the clearing. Drawn by the gentle flow and the quiet promise of deeper clarity, you begin to follow the stream as it leads you toward a wider body of water, resting still beneath the moonlit sky. The widening stream leads you through a soft curtain of reeds, their slender stalks swaying gently as if bowing with quiet reverence. Beyond them, the world opens into a vast, tranquil lake resting beneath the moon's silver glow. The surface is impossibly smooth, so still that it mirrors the night sky with perfect clarity, stars shimmering across the water as though they have descended to float upon its surface. The sight draws a slow breath from your chest, a breath that feels as though it comes from a place far deeper than your lungs. You step closer. The air here is cooler, touched by the lake's quiet breath. A hush settles over the landscape, a stillness so calm and profound that even your thoughts seem to soften before they reach the surface of your mind. You move to the water's edge, where smooth stones lie in gentle arcs along the shoreline, their shapes rounded by time and patient currents. You choose one to sit upon, letting your body settle into its natural contours, grounding you in the moment. The Buddha's presence returns, subtle and steady, not as a form beside you, but as a quiet awareness expanding in your chest. His teaching arises like a ripple moving through your mind. When the mind grows still, clarity appears. When you no longer disturb the waters within you, truth reflects itself naturally. You gaze out across the lake, and for a long moment, nothing moves. The water is a perfect mirror, offering no distortion, no confusion, only clarity. You realize that this lake is not just before you, but within you as well. It reflects your inner world, calm when undisturbed, clear when allowed to rest. You lift your hand slowly and dip your fingers into the water. The touch is cool and soothing, sending a gentle shiver along your skin. With that touch, the stillness breaks. Small ripples spread outward in delicate circles, touching the lake's surface with soft motion. Yet as soon as you withdraw your hand, the ripples begin to fade. They soften, spread, weaken, and finally return to stillness. The lake forgets them effortlessly, returning to its seamless, polished calm. Your breath deepens. The teaching becomes unmistakable. Thoughts and emotions are like ripples, momentary disturbances on the surface of awareness. They arise, expand, and then fade when left untouched. As you observe the lake returning to stillness, you notice the same quieting happening inside you. Worries you carried into this night have grown faint, their edges dissolving in the silence. Memories that once pulled at your attention drift lazily, unable to disrupt the calm you've allowed to form. You feel yourself softening, not because you've forced the mind to be quiet, but because you've finally allowed it to rest. A soft breeze passes over the lake, creating a gentle trembling across the surface. Yet even this disturbance is temporary. The water welcomes the movement, carries it, and then lets it go. You begin to trust that the same is true for the shifting winds within your own heart. Moments of doubt, sadness, longing, joy. They move through you, forming small waves, but none remain forever. The lake within always returns to calm. You inhale the cool lake air, and it fills you with a sense of spaciousness. You exhale, and something inside you releases. A tension you hadn't even realized you were holding. The night becomes more expansive, the moon's reflection glimmering with a soft serenity that draws your gaze deeper into its surface. There, in the mirrored glow, you begin to see more clearly the nature of your own experience. You notice the gentle truths rising in your awareness. How suffering often comes from reacting to the ripples instead of observing them. How peace arises from allowing things to be exactly as they are. How clarity grows when you stop disturbing the mind with resistance or craving. These realizations feel like soft petals unfolding in the quiet center of your consciousness. A faint movement catches your attention. On the far side of the lake, a lotus bud floats near the surface, its petals still closed but glowing faintly with a promise of opening. It drifts slowly toward you, carried by a current, so delicate it barely disturbs the water. As it nears, you sense its symbolism. Clarity is the beginning, but compassion is the flower that emerges from it. A calm mind becomes fertile ground for kindness. The lotus rotates gently in the moonlight, its closed petals whispering of what is yet to bloom. You feel an answering warmth stir in your chest, quiet and tender. It grows with each breath, expanding into the space around your heart. The lake remains still, reflecting not only the stars now but also the gentle glow forming within you. You realize the journey is guiding you not only toward understanding your inner world, but toward opening your heart. Softly, compassionately, without force. The lotus begins to drift once more, carried toward the next curve of the lake's shoreline, as though inviting you to rise and follow. The Buddha's presence settles around you like a warm cloak, and you feel your steps being guided by an emerging softness, a quiet wish to hold your own heart and the hearts of others with greater kindness. Drawn by this gentle pull, you rise from your stone seat and begin to walk along the moonlit shore, following the path that leads toward the blooming of compassion waiting just ahead. The lotus gliding across the lake drifts closer to the shore, its pale pink petals still folded tightly at the center, as though hiding a small, luminous secret. You follow its movement with soft steps, the moonlight spilling across the water in shimmering strokes that feel almost like a path made just for you. The air grows warmer as you approach, touched by a gentle sweetness that hints at the promise of something tender awakening. When the lotus comes to rest near your feet, you feel an unexpected warmth rise within your chest, subtle at first, then steady, like a candle slowly catching flame. You kneel beside the water, and the lotus responds. Its petals loosen with a faint sigh, trembling gently as though aware of your presence. You sense the Buddha's compassion glowing around you, not as a separate being, but as a warmth within your own heart. That warmth grows, filling the quiet spaces inside you, reaching into the corners where self-criticism sometimes hides, where old wounds lie dormant beneath layers of silence. The lotus opens a little more, and with its unfolding comes a gentle whisper of truth. Compassion begins with yourself. The words do not echo in your ears. They bloom inside your awareness, soft and luminous. You breathe in, and in that breath, you feel all the times you have carried your struggles alone. You feel the weight of moments when you doubted your worth, when you pushed yourself beyond exhaustion, when you forgave others far more easily than you forgave yourself. You feel the ache of unspoken fears, the longing for understanding, the quiet desire to be held gently, even if only by your own heart. The lotus unfurls another petal, glowing warmly against the rippling reflection of the moon. You breathe out, and with that exhale, something heavy loosens within you. You begin to see yourself not through the harsh lens of expectation, but through the soft eyes of compassion, the way a parent might look upon a child learning to walk, seeing effort rather than flaw, sincerity rather than mistake. The Buddha's presence surrounds you like a soft embrace. Be kind to yourself. You are learning. You are trying. You are worthy of gentleness. The warmth in your chest spreads to your shoulders, your throat, your hands resting in your lap. It moves through you like sunlight rising through dew-covered fields, illuminating you from within. You begin to understand that compassion is not indulgence or weakness. It is recognition of your humanity, your imperfections, your beauty, and your resilience. You close your eyes gently, letting this warmth settle deeper. In the stillness, images drift into your mind, moments from your life where you were hard on yourself, expecting perfection, where simply being human would have been enough. Let yourself see those moments not with shame, but with tenderness. Every choice, every misstep, every hesitation was born from the knowledge and capacity you had then. With that understanding, forgiveness blooms naturally. The lotus opens further, petals glowing like soft lanterns floating across the water. You feel an answering bloom unfold in your own heart. Compassion grows there, quietly but powerfully, becoming a gentle refuge you can return to whenever you feel overwhelmed or lost. A soft breeze brushes against your skin, and the lake responds with a faint ripple, the starlight shimmering across its surface. You sense the world around you acknowledging your shift, trees standing in welcoming stillness, the moon glowing a little brighter, the Buddha's presence deepening with quiet joy. Even the air feels softer, as though it carries the fragrance of your awakening compassion. Within this calm, you place a hand over your heart. It beats with a steady rhythm, warm and alive beneath your palm. Feel how it has carried you through every moment of your life, every joy, every wound, every night of difficulty, and every morning of beginning again. This heart deserves tenderness. This heart deserves rest. This heart deserves compassion. You whisper inwardly, not as a command, but as a blessing. May I be gentle with myself. May I forgive myself. May I hold myself with kindness. The words float through your chest like petals drifting across still water. The lotus on the lake has fully opened now, its petals wide and luminous, revealing a glowing center that pulses like a small sun. Its radiance reflects your own softening, your own unfolding compassion. And as the lotus begins to drift again, carried by a slow current to the far side of the lake, you feel the warm bloom in your heart, expanding outward, no longer held solely within you. Ahead, the path curves toward a forest clearing bathed in a tender light, an invitation to let this compassion grow beyond yourself and embrace the world around you with the same gentle kindness. The lotus drifts slowly across the lake, its petals open wide, glowing softly as it carries the essence of your newfound compassion across the water. You watch the gentle bloom move away from you, and yet, instead of feeling distance, you feel expansion, your own compassion stretching outward, following the lotus as though connected by an invisible thread of warmth. The air seems to shimmer with that tenderness, as if the world itself is responding to the quiet opening of your heart. You take a slow breath, and the warmth within your chest begins to widen, filling your ribs, rising into your throat, flowing down into your belly. It spreads like a gentle sunrise, reaching beyond the boundaries of your skin. You feel it in your fingertips, in your palms, in your shoulders that now rest with less weight. Compassion moves through you not with force, but with the ease of a soft breeze traveling across a field at dawn. The Buddha's presence settles beside you, luminous and serene, and you sense his silent encouragement. Let the heart open wider, his presence seems to whisper. Let kindness move beyond the self. You breathe again, and as you exhale, you imagine sending a gentle wave of compassion outward, from your heart to the lake before you. The water receives it effortlessly. The surface glimmers, responding with a calm ripple that extends across its entire expanse. You watch the ripples move outward, endlessly widening, touching every part of the lake without hesitation, without judgment. And in witnessing this, you realize, compassion has no boundaries unless you place them there. You feel your heart soften further, becoming spacious like the open sky. You begin to imagine the beings around you, the creatures in the forest nearby, hidden in nests or curled beneath leaves, resting in burrows or perched upon branches. You extend kindness to them, with a breath as soft as moonlit wind. May you be safe. May you be calm. May you be free from suffering. The forest responds. A faint rustling rises as leaves stir gently, almost as though acknowledging the blessing. In that subtle movement, you understand that compassion is not a solitary gesture. It is a shared resonance, a vibration that moves through all living things, connecting them through the quiet recognition of their mutual longing for peace. You breathe again, and your compassion widens. You imagine the people you know, friends, family, acquaintances, and even those whose paths crossed yours only briefly. You hold them in your heart gently, like fragile blossoms cupped in your palms. You extend kindness toward their joys, their struggles, their hidden fears, their aspirations. You allow your compassion to touch their burdens, not to carry them for them, but to remind them that they are not alone in their journey. The Buddha's presence glows with approval. His compassion radiates so naturally that you feel your own heart pulsing in harmony with his, expanding in waves that grow ever more luminous. Then, with another soft breath, your compassion widens again, this time reaching towards strangers you have never met. People walking through busy streets, resting in quiet homes, sitting in silence, working late into the night, laughing in bright daylight, or grieving in the shadows. You acknowledge them all with gentle sincerity. May you be held with kindness. May you know peace in your heart. May your suffering ease. The night grows warmer, filled with the soft radiance of your compassion, spreading farther and farther, reaching beyond the lake, beyond the forest, beyond the horizon itself. It becomes a vast, gentle light encompassing all beings, those living now, those who came before, and those yet to come. Compassion expands through time as naturally as it expands through space, a river of kindness flowing endlessly. Your breath remains calm and steady. As you inhale, you gather the world into your heart. As you exhale, you bless it with gentle love. Even beings who have caused you harm begin to appear in your awareness, not to reopen old wounds, but to be held lightly in compassion's soft glow. You do not justify their actions, nor excuse them. You simply recognize their humanity, their suffering, their longing for peace. This recognition frees you from carrying the weight of bitterness. Compassion, you realize, is not an emotion. It is a state of being, a spaciousness that allows you to hold the world gently without drowning in its pain. Above you, the moon continues to shine, bathing the lake and forest in silvery calm. The Buddha lifts his gaze toward a distant mountain rising beyond the treetops, its silhouette steady and quiet against the horizon. The mountain is vast, unmoving, yet softened by the glow of night. You follow his gaze, sensing that this distant peak holds the next teaching, a reminder of strength, endurance, and the quiet perseverance that supports every step of the path ahead. With compassion still blooming in your chest, you rise from the lakeshore and begin walking toward the soft outline of the mountain, feeling its presence draw you onward with the promise of deeper resilience, waiting to be understood. The forest gradually thins as you move away from the lakeshore, and soon you find yourself at the base of a quiet mountain rising beneath the moonlit sky. Its slopes are softened by drifting mist that gathers along its ridges like delicate silver veils. The mountain feels ancient, yet welcoming, not imposing but steady, an unshakable guardian watching over the valley. You pause for a moment, taking in its silent presence. In the stillness, you sense the Buddha's gentle reassurance. Strength does not come from force. It grows from steady, mindful steps. The path upward begins with a soft incline, covered in moss that cushions your feet and fills the air with the scent of earth and pine. You take your first step, and it feels different from the steps you've taken before on this journey. This step carries a quiet intention, a willingness to move forward not with urgency, but with trust. The mountain welcomes your presence with a faint rustling in the nearby shrubs, as if acknowledging your choice to climb with an open heart. The air becomes cooler as you ascend. Each breath you take draws in clarity, and each exhale releases a bit more of the heaviness that once weighed upon you. You begin to realize that the mountain path is not simply a physical climb. It mirrors the inner terrain you've explored tonight. Every rise and dip, every bend in the path, reflects the shape of your own growth. A small stone shifts beneath your foot, but you remain steady. You notice the instinctive tightening in your muscles, and then the gentle softening that follows. The Buddha's presence hums quietly within your awareness, reminding you, strength is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to walk with it. You breathe into that wisdom, steadying your pace. The trail curves around an outcrop of stone, revealing a view of the valley below. From this height, the lake reflects the moon like a perfect round jewel, and the forest spreads out in deep layers of shadow and silver. The world seems vast and peaceful, and in witnessing it, something inside you expands. You feel your perspective widening, your worries appearing smaller, quieter, less defining than they once seemed. As you ascend further, the path becomes narrower, bordered by tall grasses swaying in the wind. Their soft whispers accompany your steps, a reminder that movement doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. Each blade bends gracefully, teaching you the strength found in flexibility. You feel yourself bending too, not in defeat but in gentleness, in resilience, in the quiet art of adapting without breaking. A cluster of stones forms a natural seat along the path, and you rest there briefly. When you place your hands upon the stones, you feel their warmth retained from the day, even in the cool night air. The stones hold strength effortlessly. They do not strive to be strong. They simply are. This realization settles into you like a soft truth. Strength is not something you must chase. It grows naturally when you walk with presence. You rise again and continue the climb. The slope steepens slightly, but your steps grow more confident. With each movement, you sense the support of the earth beneath you, solid and unwavering. The mountain offers stability, encouraging you to trust that you too possess an unshaken foundation beneath the shifting surface of your emotions and thoughts. Your breath finds a new rhythm, steady, smooth, like the slow beating of a drum in the distance. Each inhale seems to draw strength from the mountain itself, and each exhale releases whatever no longer serves you. You begin to feel a quiet determination bloom within your chest, gentle yet profound. The path winds toward a rocky ledge, and when you reach it, the view opens dramatically. The night sky stretches out before you, vast and shimmering with countless stars. They scatter across the darkness in delicate patterns, each one a point of quiet brilliance. The sight fills you with a sense of awe, not overwhelming, but grounding, humbling in a comforting way. You feel connected to something infinite, something steady and wise. A faint glow appears along the ridge above you, not bright, but steady, like the first hint of dawn waiting beyond the horizon. You sense that this gentle light carries the essence of the next teaching, a deeper wisdom that the Buddha has been quietly leading you toward. With one last soft breath, you gather your strength, not the forceful strength of effort, but the grounded strength of presence, and you continue along the mountain's path, drawn toward the luminous ridge where the whisper of wisdom awaits. The faint glow along the ridge grows clearer as you ascend, soft and steady, like the light of a lantern sheltered from the wind. When you reach the crest, the world opens around you in breathtaking quiet. The mountain drops away on both sides, revealing rolling expanses of darkness and moonlit silver. The air at this height feels different, thin, pure, infused with a stillness that feels almost sacred. You stand for a moment, allowing the vastness to steady your breath. The wind rises gently, cool and cleansing, brushing across your cheeks as though offering a blessing. Then, carried on that gentle wind, the Buddha's wisdom begins to speak, not in words you hear with your ears, but in truths you feel with your whole being. It comes to you like the soft rustling of distant leaves, like the whisper of the night sky against the earth. All things change. The message is simple, yet it glides through your awareness with profound clarity. The wind shifts around you, creating small eddies that swirl at your feet before drifting outward. You watch how effortlessly it moves, never clinging to one direction, never resisting the path it takes. In the wind's fluid motion, you see the truth of impermanence, the rise and fall of every moment, every emotion, every thought. Nothing stays forever. Nothing is meant to. You inhale, and the cool air fills your lungs, teaching you in its own quiet way that every breath is a new beginning. You exhale, feeling the warmth of your breath leave your body, showing that even in release, there is peace. Impermanence is not loss. It is the gentle rhythm of existence, a rhythm that frees you from the weight of trying to hold on to what was never meant to remain fixed. The wind shifts again. All beings are connected. This truth drifts into your awareness like a note carried across the valley. As the breeze moves through the grasses, through the trees, across the lake below, you feel its continuity, touching everything without preference, brushing every surface with equal tenderness. You sense how your breath mingles with the air that touches the mountain, how your steps echo into the earth that supports countless lives. The feeling of separation softens. You are not alone on this path. You are part of a great, gentle web of existence, interwoven, interdependent, inseparable from the world around you. The Buddha's presence grows more luminous, and the wind carries another truth. Peace lives in the heart that does not cling. You place a hand over your chest and feel your heartbeat steady beneath your palm. The mountain air surrounds you like a calming embrace, carrying the warmth of compassion through your body. You begin to understand that peace does not arrive from perfect circumstances or from controlling life's shifting landscape. Peace grows when the heart opens, when it allows each moment to come and go without gripping, without resisting, without demanding that life conform to expectation. A small gust of wind rises, stronger than before, but still gentle. It carries with it the scent of pine and the faint sweetness of distant blossoms. The gust lifts your hair, your clothing, reminding you of the truth in its movement. Even when conditions shift, even when changes come unexpectedly, the heart can remain soft, spacious, and free. You close your eyes and listen. The wind becomes a teacher, a guide, a companion. It whispers of how sorrow fades when understood, how joy deepens when shared, how fear dissolves when met with awareness. It speaks of patience, of compassion, of courage, not as grand efforts, but as quiet, steady qualities that grow naturally when you walk with mindfulness. When you open your eyes again, the wind has stilled. The mountain ridge rests beneath a quiet canopy of stars, each one shimmering with a subtle light that feels both distant and intimately close. You sense that the truths the wind carried have settled into you like seeds planted in soft soil, ready to grow, ready to guide you through each step of your journey. The Buddha's presence glows gently beside you, radiant yet calm. He turns his gaze slightly downward, toward a shaded pathway winding along the mountain's slope. The path is narrow but inviting, bordered by smooth stones that shimmer faintly in the moonlight. You feel the soft pull of the next teaching rising within you, the understanding that seeing the truth naturally leads to releasing what no longer needs to be held. With the wind's wisdom still resonating in your chest, you begin your descent along the quiet slope, ready to explore the gentle art of letting the past flow away, like water returning to its source. The mountain path descends gently into a quieter valley, where the night air grows warmer and carries the faint sound of running water. As you walk, the terrain softens beneath your feet, becoming a bed of smooth soil scattered with fallen pine needles. Each step feels easier than the last, as though the wisdom carried on the mountain wind has lightened something within you. Before long, the moonlight reveals a narrow stream threading its way through the valley floor. Clear, shimmering, and alive with delicate ripples that sparkle like liquid starlight. Drawn to its calming presence, you move closer until the stream lies just before you, winding through mossy stones and gently sloping banks. Its sound is soft, a consistent murmur that seems to speak directly to the restless places inside you. You kneel beside it, feeling the cool breath of the water against your skin. The Buddha's presence settles behind you, steady and compassionate, as though he has guided countless beings to this very spot to offer the same gentle teaching. The water flows with effortless grace, never clinging to the stones it touches, nor resisting the bends in its path. Watching it, you begin to recognize a truth in its movement. The past must flow as the stream flows, seen, honored, and allowed to continue onward. You close your eyes and feel the old stories that linger in your heart. Memories long buried begin to rise, not sharply, but softly, like shadows emerging at dusk. There are moments of sorrow, times when words cut deeper than intended, days when you carried more than you could hold, and nights when loneliness or fear grew so large it felt as though it would swallow you. Each memory surfaces gently, without the weight it once held, as if softened by the wisdom you've gathered on the path. The Buddha's quiet voice seems to move through your awareness, warm as candlelight. You have carried these burdens out of habit, not necessity. The stream murmurs in agreement. You open your eyes and imagine placing each memory into the stream, not erasing it, not denying its place in your life, but allowing it to drift from your grasp. Begin with one small sorrow, something that has lingered like dust in your thoughts. See it resting in your palms, light, harmless, and then gently lower your hands into the cool water. Release it. The stream accepts it immediately. It carries it forward, the ripples widening as the memory dissolves into motion. You watch until it disappears around a bend, swallowed by the night with a tenderness that surprises you. You feel a faint spaciousness open within your chest, a softening that brings ease to your breath. When you feel ready, you offer another memory, something heavier, something that shaped you in ways you didn't fully understand until now. Place it gently into the water. Let the stream carry it onward. As it floats away, you may sense how attachment to old stories once kept you tethered, limiting your steps. Yet now, as they drift beyond reach, you begin to understand that releasing the past is not a rejection of it. It is the honoring of its role and the closing of a door you no longer need to stand in front of. Slowly, with care, you offer more. Regrets you held tightly, mistakes you judged harshly, fears that shaped your choices. You release them, not because you are trying to forget, but because you no longer need them to define who you are. Each one joins the stream, carried gently through the valley, disappearing without resistance. The Buddha's presence glows brighter, as if illuminated by your willingness to let go. His compassion flows into the space where those old burdens once resided, filling you with a sense of lightness that feels both unfamiliar and deeply natural. A wave of relief moves through you, slow, warm, and soothing, as though your heart is rediscovering how spacious it truly is. The stream continues to move with unwavering softness. You watch it for a while, letting its rhythm settle your breath. It becomes clear that this teaching is not about forgetting the past, but about freeing your hands so they can hold the present more gently. You feel gratitude rise within you, gratitude for the lessons learned, for the strength forged, for the understanding born from experiences that once felt overwhelming. The night grows still around you. Fireflies drift above the stream, their soft lights flickering like small blessings carried on the breeze. The forest seems to pause in reverence, acknowledging the quiet transformation unfolding within you. Your mind feels clearer. Your body feels lighter. Your heart feels open, no longer weighed down by the echoes of old sorrow. As you rise from the stream's edge, you notice how the path ahead becomes smoother and more level, bathed in a soft, welcoming glow. Something within you settles deeply, a readiness to meet the world with a new sense of softness, grounded not in the past, but in the present. The Buddha turns his gaze toward a tranquil meadow beyond the stream, a place where the quiet acceptance of life as it is awaits, inviting you into an even deeper peace. The meadow unfolds before you in a wide sweep of moonlit grasses, each blade shimmering with a soft silver glow. As you step into this open space, the air changes, becoming warmer, gentler, as though the night itself is offering a calm embrace. The earth beneath your feet feels soft, yielding slightly with each step, inviting you to release the last remnants of tension you carried from the mountain and the stream. You feel the Buddha's presence close by, serene and patient, guiding you into a deeper kind of stillness. The wind drifts across the meadow with a quiet murmur, carrying the scent of wildflowers and cool dew. Their fragrance is subtle, not overwhelming, just enough to coax your breath into a slower rhythm. You inhale, and the softness of the air fills your lungs like a warm, soothing balm. You exhale, and something inside you loosens, an internal knot that had remained quietly clenched until now. You walk further into the meadow and find a patch of thick, velvety grass. You settle there, allowing your body to sink into its natural cushion. The ground supports you fully, holding your weight with effortless generosity. You lie back or sit comfortably, letting the moonlight wash over you. Above, the sky stretches endlessly, filled with stars that shimmer like scattered pearls on dark silk. Their quiet glow reflects the truth rising gently within you. Acceptance is not surrender to defeat, but a peaceful resting in reality as it is. For a moment, you simply breathe. No striving, no adjusting, no reaching for anything to be different. You let each breath arrive without interference, and you let it leave without grasping. The simple act of allowing the breath to be exactly as it is becomes a doorway into deeper awareness. As you observe it, you begin to understand that this same principle applies to your life. When you stop resisting what is already here, a profound ease begins to unfold naturally. The Buddha's presence radiates gently at your side, and you sense his teaching arise like a soft tide moving through your chest. Acceptance is the heart's willingness to rest with things as they are, without clinging, without pushing away. These words settle into you with the weight of truth. You realize how often you have struggled against reality, trying to change what was unchangeable, trying to undo what had already passed, trying to anticipate the future before it arrived. Each effort, though born from longing for peace, only tightened the grip of suffering. Here, in the meadow, you feel the possibility of a different way. You place a hand on your chest, and the warmth beneath your palm reminds you that the present moment is the only place where peace can truly grow. Acceptance becomes a soft cushion beneath your awareness, supporting you with a stability you don't need to force. You begin to notice small sensations: the coolness of the night air brushing your skin, the gentle hum of insects hidden among the grasses, the rhythmic rise and fall of your breath. None of these sensations demand that you change them. They simply exist, and you allow them to be. This quiet allowing becomes a kind of meditation, a spaciousness that opens in your heart. You close your eyes, and in the darkness, memories drift in and out, moments of joy, of sadness, of uncertainty. You do not cling to them, nor do you reject them. You let them pass through your awareness like clouds crossing a peaceful sky. Some are heavy with rain, some light and drifting, but all eventually move on. Acceptance means allowing every cloud to float by without holding on to its shape. You sense the Buddha's compassion deepening, wrapping around you like a warm shawl. His presence reminds you that acceptance does not mean you cannot change your life. Instead, it means beginning from a place of truth, seeing clearly what is here now, and resting with it before deciding how to move forward. Peace does not bloom from struggle. It blooms from alignment with reality. A soft breeze stirs the grasses around you, creating gentle waves across the meadow. The sound is soothing, like distant ocean tides, or the whisper of silk slipping through open hands. The movement reminds you that acceptance creates flow. Life moves more easily when you are no longer pushing against its natural rhythm. As you open your eyes again, the stars above seem brighter, as though acknowledging the quiet shift happening within you. You feel lighter, calmer, more anchored in the present moment. The meadow becomes a sanctuary where everything is exactly as it needs to be, where nothing is rushed and nothing is forced. You rise slowly, carrying this sense of ease with you. The Buddha's gaze lifts toward a gentle glow forming along a distant pathway at the edge of the meadow. The light feels warm, inviting, as though it holds the promise of a deeper guidance, a reminder that once acceptance has softened the heart, trust naturally begins to take root. With one last peaceful breath, you step toward the glow, ready to explore the quiet strength that comes from trusting the unfolding of your path. The gentle glow at the edge of the meadow brightens as you approach, radiating a steady warmth that feels both familiar and new. It is not the bright blaze of a torch, or the sharp brilliance of a star, but something softer, like the quiet light that rises just before dawn, carrying with it the promise of a new day as you walk toward it. The meadow grasses part easily beneath your feet, as though the earth itself recognizes your steps and welcomes your passage. The Buddha's presence remains close, though he does not speak. His silence carries a message all its own, a quiet reassurance that the path unfolding ahead is not one you must force, but one you can trust. You feel his confidence in you as a subtle warmth in your chest, a gentle reminder that every step taken with awareness is a step taken in wisdom. The glowing path curves into a narrow trail, bordered by smooth stones, softened by years of wind and moonlight. As you place your foot onto the illuminated earth, you feel a small but unmistakable shift inside you. It is as though the glow beneath your feet resonates with something deep within your being, awakening a sense of clarity you didn't know you had. The light responds to each step, not by becoming brighter, but by becoming steadier, matching the rhythm of your growing trust. With each breath, your body loosens further. Feel how your shoulders settle, your jaw softens, your heart steadies. You begin to understand that trust is not a leap into the unknown. It is the quiet willingness to walk forward even when the next step is not yet fully visible. Trust grows not from certainty, but from presence, from the recognition that life unfolds moment by moment, and that each moment carries within it its own guidance. A soft wind rises, brushing past your skin with cool fingers. It brings with it the scent of distant pine forests and fresh earth, reminding you that the world is alive beneath the stillness. The trees along the path whisper gently, their leaves fluttering like small prayers carried on the breeze. You feel as though the entire landscape is breathing with you, encouraging you to move with ease rather than tension. The Buddha's presence subtly heightens, and you sense a teaching forming within your awareness. Trust the journey, not because the path is always smooth, but because you are learning to walk with wisdom. You take another step and feel something deepen, a sense of alignment between your inner world and the path beneath you. You begin to recognize how each experience, each challenge, each joy has brought you to this moment. Trust begins to feel less like an effort and more like a natural response to understanding. As you continue along the glowing trail, you notice patches of shadow on the path. They do not dim the light completely, but they add texture to the journey, reminders that life contains both clarity and uncertainty. You walk through these shadows without hesitation, sensing that the light beneath your feet remains unwavering, even when the world around you shifts. This, too, is part of trust, knowing that inner wisdom does not disappear when circumstances become unclear. It waits patiently, steady as a flame protected from the wind. A small clearing opens ahead, lit by gentle moonlight that falls through the branches overhead. You pause there, feeling the serene vastness around you. The silence is calming, peaceful, and full of meaning. You realize that trust is not about predicting the future. Trust is about standing firmly in the present, rooted in the knowledge that you are capable of meeting whatever arises. Your breath deepens with this understanding. You kneel beside a smooth boulder and rest your hand upon its cool surface. The stone feels grounded, ancient, unshaken by time. Its strength mirrors your own emerging steadiness. You recognize how far you've come, how each step, each teaching, each moment of release has softened your heart and strengthened your spirit. The Buddha's presence curls gently around you, warm and quiet. His compassion feels like a soft glow resting on your shoulders. You sense him affirming what you have begun to understand. True wisdom grows not from knowing the entire journey, but from trusting the step beneath your feet. You rise again, feeling lighter, not because the path is easy, but because your relationship to it has changed. The glowing trail extends forward, winding through the trees like a ribbon of soft light. You follow it, guided by the quiet certainty that inner wisdom will continue to illuminate your steps, one breath at a time. As you move, the forest begins to thin. The trees open into a wide, gentle hillside, bathed in moonlight so soft it feels like a caress. The air becomes still, and a deep sense of presence settles over the land, a presence that invites you to pause, to breathe, to truly arrive in the unfolding moment that awaits just ahead. The hillside opens before you like a quiet invitation, its gentle slope glowing under the soft wash of moonlight. As you step onto the open earth, the air grows still, so still that even the smallest sound becomes clear. The distant hum of crickets rises in a delicate chorus, weaving through the night like threads of silver. You pause, letting your senses expand into the space around you. The cool air brushes your cheeks, carrying with it the faint scent of wild grass warmed by daylight, and now settling into night's embrace. Everything feels still, gentle, unhurried, an atmosphere shaped entirely by the present moment. With each breath, the world grows more vivid. You notice the soft crunch of earth beneath your feet, the way the hillside gives slightly under your weight as though welcoming your presence. You feel the subtle rhythm of your heart syncing with the quiet pulse of the land. Even the moonlight seems to rest more delicately upon your skin, as though it recognizes that you are truly here, awake within this very breath. You settle onto a patch of cool grass, allowing your body to sink into the hillside's natural curve. As you lie back or sit comfortably, you feel the ground supporting you with steady, unshifting strength. The earth holds you without asking anything in return. Your body exhales into it, muscles softening, shoulders releasing, breath slowing into its natural rhythm. The hillside becomes a cradle, a place where you can finally rest without effort. Above you, the stars shimmer quietly, their distant light dancing along the edges of the night sky. Their presence reminds you that everything in the universe exists in the same moment. Not somewhere else, not some time else, but here, now. The Buddha's presence settles nearby, not as a voice or a visible form, but as a deepening of awareness, a calm, steady radiance that draws your attention inward. He offers a simple teaching, felt rather than heard. Presence is the doorway to peace. You breathe into this truth, letting it settle in your chest. The night air fills you with a clarity that feels pure and nourishing. You sense how often the mind wanders, into worries, into memories, into imagined futures. But here, under the moonlit sky, the wandering quiets. The pull of the present moment becomes stronger, like a gentle tide drawing you into stillness. You notice the breeze brushing lightly through the grass. Each blade sways in its own rhythm, yet together they form a unified movement, soft and harmonious. You listen to the crickets, how their chirps rise and fall, like a natural mantra guiding your attention back whenever it drifts. You observe the sensation of breath entering your nose, cooling your throat, warming your chest, spreading peace through your belly. These small details become anchors, simple, soothing reminders of where your life is actually happening. A deeper calm begins to unfurl within you. You feel your awareness settling not only in your mind, but in your body, in your hands, your feet, your spine, your breath. With each moment of noticing, the present grows richer, fuller, more alive. You begin to understand that presence is not a concept. It is an experience, a soft, steady awakening to the aliveness that pulses through every breath and sound and sensation. The Buddha's presence deepens, and you sense a silent encouragement to widen your awareness. Beyond your breath, beyond the hillside, beyond the rhythm of insects singing in the night, there is a vast, spacious stillness. When you rest in presence, that stillness becomes palpable, an infinite, gentle expanse that holds you like an ocean, holding a single drop of water. You do not dissolve, you simply belong. You allow your awareness to settle into that stillness, feeling yourself become part of the landscape. No past moment tugs at you. No imagined future pulls your attention away. There is only this breath, this night, this hillside, this peaceful awareness that needs nothing more than what is already here. As you continue to rest in presence, a new sensation emerges, a subtle, steady balance rising within your chest. It feels like a quiet strength, a grounded calm that does not waver even as thoughts flicker at the edges of awareness. It is a kind of inner equilibrium that holds you gently, as though the universe itself is keeping watch. The hillside seems to glow a little brighter as that inner balance strengthens, and you sense that this calm clarity is leading you toward another teaching, a deeper understanding of how to remain steady, not only in moments of peace, but also in moments of challenge. You rise slowly, carrying the stillness with you. The night air remains cool and steady, brushing against your skin, like the soft touch of a guiding hand. Ahead, the path curves gently toward an open expanse, where the land flattens into a serene plateau glowing beneath the moon. Something in that space calls to you, an invitation to explore the quiet purity of balance that presence has awakened within you. The plateau opens wide beneath the moon, its surface smooth and quietly radiant, as though the earth itself has become a vast altar of stillness. As you step into this open space, the air grows clearer, lighter, carrying the faint scent of cool stone warmed by the day and cooled again by the night. There is no wind here, only a soft hush, a silence so deep it seems to reach into your chest and draw out a matching stillness. You pause, sensing the shift. Something in this place invites not only calm but steadiness, a quiet strength that does not rise or fall with the world's changing tides. You settle onto the ground, whether kneeling, sitting, or reclining, allowing your body to find a posture that feels natural, rooted, effortless. The earth beneath you feels solid, unyielding yet gentle, cradling you with a firmness that brings comfort rather than tension. As you rest into the ground's steady support, you sense the presence of the Buddha forming beside you, not in a physical shape, but as a deepening of the stillness around you. His awareness merges with the space, filling it with the kind of peace that asks for nothing and welcomes everything. A gentle message rises within your mind, soft as moonlight brushing the grass. Equanimity is the heart that remains steady in all seasons. You breathe into this truth slowly, letting it settle through your ribs, your spine, your belly. With the next breath, you feel the world around you soften into balance. The earth is neither warm nor cold. It is simply steady. The sky is neither bright nor dark. It simply is. Even your breath moves without urgency, without hesitation. Inhale, calm expansion. Exhale, gentle release. You notice how each breath fits perfectly into the next, forming a quiet cycle that asks for nothing more than your presence. The Buddha's presence deepens, and a new understanding begins to form. Equanimity is not the absence of emotion or the avoidance of difficulty. It is the spaciousness within you that allows emotions to rise and fall without sweeping you away. It is the mountain that remains unmoved, even as clouds gather and storms drift overhead. Feel this steadiness now, soft, grounded, spacious. As you rest in this state, your mind begins to recall moments in your life when your inner world felt like a storm, moments when fear surged, when frustration tightened your chest, when grief pulled at your breath, or when joy overwhelmed you like a sudden wave. You see these moments clearly, yet distantly, as though watching clouds move across a wide sky. The sky feels familiar, infinite, capable of holding every shade without becoming any one of them. You sense the Buddha's compassion guiding you. Let emotions move through you as clouds move across the sky, seen, felt, allowed, and released. You inhale deeply. On the exhale, you allow a single emotion to rise in your awareness, not to judge or dissect it, but simply to see it. Notice how it appears, perhaps as warmth in the chest or tension in the stomach. Notice how it changes shape the longer you observe it. Notice how it loosens when you stop resisting it. Equanimity does not silence emotion, it frees it. A soft breeze finally stirs across the plateau, brushing against your skin, like the whisper of a distant tide returning to shore. With it comes the sensation of movement without disturbance, a gentle reminder that the world will always shift, but your heart can remain grounded, open, steady. You breathe with the breeze, allowing its softness to expand the peace inside you. As you rest in this openness, you begin to sense the delicate balance of equanimity, an equal willingness to meet joy and sorrow, gain and loss, praise and blame, with a heart that does not contract in fear, nor cling in desire. This is not passivity. It is inner freedom, the freedom to witness life without being torn apart by its changing currents. You place a hand over your heart and feel its steady rhythm, a quiet anchor that continues through every season of your life. This rhythm is constant, trustworthy, and you realize that equanimity is not a distant ideal. It is already present within you, waiting to be nurtured. You breathe into that steady rhythm and feel it resonate through your entire body. The plateau around you seems to glow brighter as your inner balance strengthens. The moon casts a gentle silver sheen across the earth, and the stars shimmer above like small, patient guardians. You feel a profound spaciousness in your chest, a calm that does not require stillness, and a steadiness that does not depend on certainty. Equanimity settles into you like a deep-rooted tree, its presence firm and enduring. Through it, you feel the possibility of meeting every moment of your life with grace, even the challenging ones. Especially the challenging ones. Not because they are easy, but because your heart is learning to remain open, steady, and compassionate through them all. As you rise slowly from the plateau, the air warms slightly, carrying with it a new quality, something lighter, brighter, almost playful. You sense that beyond this profound steadiness, a different kind of teaching awaits, one that brings warmth and uplift, like sunlight touching the horizon after a long, peaceful night, as you step beyond the tranquil plateau. The air takes on a lighter, warmer tone, almost as though the night itself has begun to smile. The path ahead softens into a gentle slope that leads into a small grove illuminated by the glow of scattered lanterns hung from low branches. Their light is warm and golden, flickering softly like tiny hearth fires suspended in midair. The moment you enter this grove, a subtle ease washes through your body, loosening your breath, lightening your heart. Here, nothing feels heavy. Here, Happiness arises not from effort, but from simple presence. You pause beneath one of the lanterns, noticing how its flame dances gently in the still air. Each flicker seems to whisper a quiet truth. Joy does not need to be large to be real. You feel a small warmth rise within your chest, like the beginning of a smile forming not on your lips, but deep in your heart. This warmth is gentle, uncomplicated. Happiness in its most natural form. A faint sound drifts through the grove, soft and melodic. You turn to find a small wooden wind chime swaying from a nearby branch. Its tones are delicate, no louder than the murmur of distant laughter, yet they add a sweetness to the air, a feeling of quiet celebration. You feel something lighten inside you, as though the chime's soft music has brushed away the last remnants of heaviness you carried. Sometimes all it takes is a single kind sound to remind you that joy is still within reach. The Buddha's presence settles beside you with unusual lightness, as if he too stands softened by the peaceful glow of the lanterns. His compassion feels playful now, no less deep, but touched with warmth, like sunlight illuminating calm water. You sense his teaching forming gently in your awareness. Happiness is found not in wanting more, but in noticing what is already here. You take a slow breath and let your attention rest on the small wonders surrounding you. The way the lantern light reflects gently off the leaves, painting them in gold. The cool earth beneath your feet, steady and comforting. The easy rhythm of your breath moving in and out. The softness of night cradling the grove in quiet harmony. None of these things shout for your attention. Yet each one holds a quiet beauty, a subtle delight that blooms only when touched by awareness. You move deeper into the grove and find a small wooden bench carved from a fallen tree. The wood is smooth beneath your fingertips, warmed by lantern light and softened by years of gentle weathering. When you sit, the bench creaks softly, as though welcoming your weight with familiarity. A gentle contentment settles into your bones. This moment asks nothing of you. It simply exists, open and peaceful, waiting to be noticed. As you sit, memories begin to rise, moments in your life when simple things brought unexpected joy. Perhaps the warmth of morning sunlight through a window, the soft laughter shared with someone you love, the smell of rain carried on a cool breeze, a kind word offered when you least expected it. The Buddha's presence encourages you to let these memories arise, not to cling to them, but to remember how naturally happiness can appear when the mind is quiet enough to see it. You feel your breath deepen, matching the slow rhythm of the lantern flames. Each inhale gathers warmth. Each exhale softens your chest. Happiness no longer feels like something to chase. It feels like something you have gently turned toward, something that was here all along, quiet, patient, waiting for you to notice. A small animal, a fox or perhaps a hare, emerges briefly from the shadows, pausing at the edge of the lantern light. It looks at you with calm curiosity, its presence peaceful and unafraid. For a moment, you simply share the space together, two beings meeting in stillness. Then, with effortless grace, it slips back into the night. The encounter leaves you with a soft, lingering warmth, joy found in a moment without words. You rise again, feeling lighter and more open than when you entered. As you walk slowly beneath the lanterns, their glow seems brighter now, as if responding to the ease within you. The grove hums quietly with a sense of gentle celebration. Joy not loud or exuberant, but steady and real, rooted in simplicity and presence. The Buddha's silent guidance continues to unfold in your awareness. When the heart becomes still, joy blossoms naturally. When joy blossoms, gratitude awakens. You feel this truth settle softly inside you, warm as lantern light. Ahead, the path curves toward another open space beyond the grove. The light there is different, softer, steadier, glowing with a gentle radiance that seems to rise from the earth itself. You sense that this next space holds the essence of appreciation, a place where joy deepens into thankfulness, and the heart learns to bow gently before the gifts of the present moment. The path beyond the lantern grove widens into a softly glowing field, its grasses illuminated by a gentle radiance rising from the earth itself. The light is warm, like sunlight remembered in the depths of night, a quiet gold that settles upon you with the tenderness of a hand placed on your shoulder. As you step into this field, your breath instinctively deepens, drawn into a rhythm that feels both grounding and uplifting. The air carries the faint scent of blooming jasmine, each petal releasing its fragrance like a small offering to the night. You walk slowly, letting your senses absorb the quiet beauty around you. The grasses sway in a graceful dance, moving with the ease of beings who expect nothing and resist nothing. Their movement feels like a reminder in itself. Blessings do not always announce themselves. Sometimes they appear in the gentlest of motions, asking only that you notice. You pause, placing your hand lightly upon the tall grass and feel its softness, cool, delicate, alive beneath your fingers. Gratitude stirs within you, subtle as a warm pulse beneath your ribs. The Buddha's presence gathers with a serene glow beside you, his compassion matching the gentle radiance of the field. His teaching arises not as a command, but as a soft unveiling. Gratitude is the practice of seeing the gifts already woven into your life. These words settle into your awareness, like petals drifting onto still water. You breathe them in, feeling their truth expand through your chest. And as you stand in the glowing field, memories begin to surface, not with heaviness, but with the soft illumination of recognition. You recall small kindnesses that once touched you, a gentle word offered on a hard day, a quiet smile from someone who didn't need to give it, a moment of unexpected understanding. These memories rise like lanterns, lifting into the night sky, each one carrying a warm glow that softens your heart. You realize that even in difficult times, moments of grace found their way to you, tiny anchors that helped you stay afloat. You remember the beauty of nature that has accompanied you through your life. Sunlight filtered through autumn leaves, the hush of rain against a window, the sound of waves breaking gently along a shore. Even now, the night embraces you in a tapestry of small miracles, the shimmering stars overhead, the gentle glow of the field, the soft hum of insects singing their nocturnal hymn. You feel your breath deepen with gratitude for these simple wonders, so easily overlooked, yet so profoundly nourishing. You think of the moments of rest you have been given, the times when exhaustion lifted just enough for you to breathe with ease, when sleep arrived like a quiet blessing, when solitude wrapped itself around you like warm cloth. These moments, too, were gifts, quiet gifts, healing gifts. The Buddha's presence seems to smile softly as you recognize them. Your heart warms, expanding like a lotus blooming in slow motion. Gratitude becomes not a thought, but a feeling, a gentle warmth radiating outward from your center, flowing through your limbs, reaching even to your fingertips. With each inhale, gratitude rises like a tide. With each exhale, it spreads through the field around you, filling the night with a subtle golden glow. You step forward again, and the light beneath your feet brightens. It's as though the earth responds to each moment of appreciation, reflecting it back to you. You begin to sense that gratitude is not merely an emotion. It is a way of seeing, a way of being in the world. It turns ordinary moments into quiet miracles. It transforms burdens into lessons. It reveals the gentle generosity woven into the fabric of your life. You kneel, and place your hand upon the warm earth. The ground pulses slightly beneath your palm, subtle, like the heartbeat of the world. You whisper inwardly, "Thank you." It is not directed at any single thing, and yet it encompasses everything. The grass, the moon, the night, the breath moving in your lungs, the path you've walked, the growth you've undergone, the kindness that has shaped you. They all feel acknowledged in that single, simple expression. As you rise, you feel a lightness surrounding you, as though gratitude has loosened the final remnants of tension still held in your body. Your steps feel softer, more grounded, more connected to the earth beneath you. The Buddha's presence brightens, reflecting your inner glow. Gratitude has opened your heart wider than before, making space for a deeper calm to settle within you. Ahead, the glowing field begins to taper into a gentle winding path. The air cools slightly, carrying a quiet stillness that feels like the first breath before sunrise. This path holds another teaching, one shaped not by immediacy, but by the slow, patient unfolding of time. A teaching that invites you to walk with understanding, gentleness, and steady endurance. With gratitude warming your chest and softening your steps, you move toward the quiet curve of the path, where patience is waiting to guide you further into the night. The glowing field gradually narrows into a quiet, winding path, lined with small white stones that glimmer faintly beneath the moonlight. As you walk, the air grows cooler, gentler, carrying the subtle fragrance of damp earth and early blossoms. The night deepens into a peaceful hush, as though the world itself is pausing, slowing its breath, softening its pulse, to invite you into a space where nothing must be rushed. You feel the change immediately. Your steps fall into a slower rhythm. Your breaths lengthen. Your heart begins to settle into a quieter, steadier beat. Ahead, the path opens into a circular clearing, and at its center stands a single lotus pond. The water is smooth as polished glass, reflecting the night sky with perfect clarity. Floating upon its surface is a lotus bud, not yet opened, but trembling slightly as though poised on the edge of transformation. Its petals remain closed, layered tightly in a protective embrace, waiting for the perfect moment to unfold. You approach the edge of the pond and sit beside it, your body sinking into the cool earth. The Buddha's presence settles beside you with a serene weight, patient and unwavering. His stillness matches the untouched surface of the pond. You feel his compassion gathering gently around you, and a soft teaching arises within your awareness, quiet as the opening note of a distant chant. Some things bloom only when the moment is right. You gaze at the lotus bud, noticing the delicate lines along its petals, the faint blush of color curled within its layered form. Nothing about it feels incomplete. It is not late. It is not behind. It is simply becoming. It waits without anxiety, without doubt, without haste, trusting its own unfolding. You breathe deeply, feeling the truth of this reflected in your own life. So often you may have wished for clarity to come immediately, for healing to happen swiftly, for peace to arrive without delay. Yet the heart, like the lotus, has its own natural pace. Growth does not respond to force. Healing does not unfold on command. Understanding does not bloom instantly. And inner peace, too, requires the spaciousness of time. A gentle breeze stirs across the pond, sending faint ripples across the water. The lotus bud sways slightly but remains steady, unaffected by the small movement. This, too, is part of patience, the willingness to endure small disturbances without losing your center, the willingness to trust that steadiness returns, that calm deepens again, that clarity blooms in its own season. You close your eyes for a moment and think of the times you struggled against your own becoming, Moments when you wished to be further along the path. Moments when frustration tightened your chest. Moments when you compared your journey to another's. Let these memories rise gently, like bubbles rising to the surface of the pond. Do not push them away. Simply notice them. Then breathe out, allowing them to drift away on the breeze. Feel the space that remains when they dissolve. Feel the quiet relief in no longer needing to hurry. The Buddha's presence glows warmly at your side, and you sense another layer of teaching forming. Patience is not waiting for life to change. It is resting in the truth that you are changing, even when you cannot yet see it. Your breath deepens, softening the space around your ribs. You place a hand over your heart, feeling its slow, steady rhythm, the quiet proof that time is already working within you, shaping you in unseen ways. The lotus bud remains closed, yet you know with certainty that within its stillness, transformation is already occurring. When you open your eyes again, the pond reflects the moon in a soft silver arc. A faint shimmer of light glows beneath the water's surface, as though something within the pond has begun to awaken. You lean closer, sensing a subtle shift in the bud. The petals relax by a fraction, so slight it might be missed, but you notice. The bloom begins its opening not with a burst, but with a whisper, a slow and mindful unfurling. Peace swells gently inside you, mirroring the lotus. You understand now that patience is not passive. It is an active trust, a courageous stillness, a gentle willingness to allow life to unfold moment by moment. You breathe in this understanding, letting it settle into your bones. You breathe out, releasing the urge to rush your own becoming. The lotus bud continues to open slowly, revealing the faint blush of its delicate inner petals. Its pace is so gentle, so natural, that it feels like a prayer spoken without sound. You watch its gradual blossoming with reverence, recognizing in its slow bloom the quiet beauty of your own unfolding journey. As the petals continue their tender release, the air around the pond shifts with a subtle glow, carrying the promise of the Buddha's next teaching, a teaching about loosening the grip of expectation and allowing the heart to move freely. With a final deep breath, you rise from the pond's edge, ready to follow the soft luminosity stretching beyond the clearing toward a deeper understanding of letting go. The soft glow guiding you from the lotus pond leads into a tranquil grove where the air feels almost weightless, as if even the wind has learned to move without clinging to the world around it. The trees here stand tall and slender, their branches swaying gently with a grace that seems effortless. Their leaves drift down one by one, each falling with quiet acceptance, touching the earth lightly before being carried away by the faintest breeze. As you step into this grove, you feel that same lightness brushing against your heart, loosening what still clings inside you. The Buddha's presence appears once more, not as a figure you see, but as a serene awareness warming the space around your chest. His compassion radiates with a clarity that gently encourages you to deepen your understanding. A quiet teaching rises within you, soft as a sigh. To hold life with open hands is to live without fear of losing what cannot be kept. You move farther into the grove, noticing how the fallen leaves do not mourn the branches they once adorned. They release their grasp naturally, without struggle, as though trusting the cycle that carries them from form to form. Their surrender is peaceful, elegant, and in watching their effortless letting go, something inside you begins to soften. You start to see that holding tightly, whether to people, moments, identities, or outcomes, creates tension where ease could live. You pause beside a small stone path winding through the trees. Several leaves land gently at your feet, each one shaped differently, colored differently, carrying its own story of sun and rain. Yet now they rest lightly, refusing to claim a place as their own. They belong to the breeze, to the earth, to the cycle of change itself. Their quiet acceptance becomes a mirror for you. You kneel and lift one leaf into your hand. It is delicate, its edges curled with age. For a moment you study it. The smooth veins, the fading color, the softness beginning to settle through the stem. You feel the impulse to preserve it, to hold it tightly so the moment does not pass. But when you close your fingers around it, even gently, you can feel the resistance of grasping. The leaf was never meant to be kept. It was meant to be honored, then released. Slowly, you open your hand again. The leaf rests against your palm, peaceful. You exhale, and the breeze carries it away with effortless grace. Watching it float, you feel something within you follow. A tension loosens in your chest. A small, quiet ache begins to ease. Letting go does not take anything from you. It creates space. The Buddha's teaching deepens within your awareness. You do not lose what you release. You lose only the fear that kept you holding on. You feel a shift inside you, gentle, subtle, yet profoundly true. The moments you tried to hold most tightly were the ones that caused you the greatest suffering. Expectations about who you should be, fears about what might happen, attachments to outcomes you could not control. All of these weighed on your spirit like stones tied to a bird's wings. But now, sitting in this grove, you begin to understand that freedom does not come from owning or controlling life. It comes from opening your hands. You stretch your fingers slightly, letting the cool air slip through them. It feels like a blessing, like space itself is moving through your hands, reminding you that it is safe to loosen your grip. You breathe in, feeling the freshness of the forest enter your lungs. You breathe out, feeling a lingering burden dissolve a little more. As you rise, the trees sway gently, their branches whispering a soft truth. Life changes, always. You nod inwardly, accepting the simplicity of it. Change is not an enemy. It is the very nature of existence. Clinging tries to stop what is already in motion. Non-attachment allows you to move with life rather than against it. You walk deeper into the grove and notice small things. The sparkle of moonlight along the dew, the hum of insects, the quiet pulse of the earth beneath your feet. None of these moments can be held. None can be repeated exactly. Yet each one is a gift, offered only once, and received fully when met with open hands. A gentle calm settles into your body. You feel lighter, freer, as though the spaces within your ribs have widened to create room for breath, for softness, for acceptance. Your steps become effortless, carried by a sense of spacious clarity. Through the thinning trees ahead, a pale glow begins to form, a soft white radiance spreading across the horizon like the first suggestion of dawn. It calls to you with quiet warmth, inviting you toward a deeper truth that has been gently echoing through each moment of your journey. Everything arises, everything passes, and in understanding this, the heart becomes free. Drawn toward that luminous horizon, you step forward, ready to explore the profound wisdom waiting in the teaching of impermanence. The pale glow on the horizon brightens with each step you take, spreading across the thinning grove like a gentle awakening. As the final trees give way, you arrive at a wide, serene field bathed in pearlescent light. The air is cool and delicate, carrying the faint fragrance of blossoms both newly opened and recently fallen. For a moment, the world seems suspended between breaths, quiet, luminous, endlessly shifting. You stand at its edge, feeling the subtle pulse of change moving through everything around you. In the center of the field sits a single blooming tree. Its branches stretch upward with graceful arcs, adorned with hundreds of soft petals that shimmer like pale pink stardust. Some cling delicately to the branches, trembling with the whisper of the breeze. Others loosen, drifting downward in slow spirals, touching the earth with the gentlest sigh. The tree breathes, change into the air with every flicker of wind. You step closer, drawn by the mesmerizing dance of falling petals. Each one turns softly as it descends, catching the moonlight, creating brief sparks of color that vanish as soon as they touch the soil. The Buddha's presence gathers beside you, subtle and steady. His teaching arises like a ripple in the still air. Everything changes, moment by moment. Nothing stays as it was, and nothing remains untouched by time. You watch a petal detach from the branch above you. For a brief instant, it clings, holding to its place, its form, its identity. Then, without struggle, it releases. The breath of the wind carries it gently away. In that single moment, the truth of impermanence reveals itself clearly. Change is not violent or sudden. It is natural, continuous, and often tender. The world shifts quietly, even when you do not notice. As you stand beneath the blooming tree, memories surface like petals rising into light. You recall moments when change felt frightening, when something beloved slipped from your grasp, when life moved in directions you didn't expect. You remember the ache of endings, the uncertainty of transitions, the longing for things to stay the same. Yet as these memories drift through your awareness, you also notice something else: growth that followed loss, clarity that emerged from confusion, strength shaped by the very changes you once resisted. The breeze stirs again, sending another cascade of petals drifting across your shoulders, your hands, your face. Their touch is cool, ephemeral. You reach out, palms open, and a few land lightly in your hands. They rest for a moment, beautiful, delicate, temporary. Then the next breeze carries them on once more. You do not cling. You let them go. The Buddha's presence deepens, warm and compassionate. To accept impermanence is to soften your grasp on life, to let joy flow more freely, to let sorrow pass more gently. You breathe slowly, feeling the wisdom of these words move through you. Impermanence is not a threat. It is the very rhythm that makes life possible. Without change, blossoms would never open. Without endings, beginnings could not arise. Without letting go, nothing new could take form. You begin to sense the quiet beauty in the world's constant unfolding, the dance of appearance and disappearance that shapes every moment. The moonlight shifts slightly, illuminating the tree from a different angle. You notice tiny buds nestled along its branches, new beginnings already forming even as old petals fall. The tree does not mourn the petals it loses. It simply continues to grow, to bloom, to shed, to renew. This cycle is its nature. And in recognizing this, you realize it is your nature too. A profound calm settles into your heart. You feel yourself loosening, softening your attachment to what has passed, releasing the anxiety of what is yet to come. The present moment opens wide, filled with spaciousness. You understand now that impermanence does not take from you. It gives you the gift of movement, of transformation, of possibility. You sit at the base of the blooming tree, the soft grass cushioning your body. Fallen petals gather around you like a delicate blanket, each one a reminder that even moments of beauty are temporary, and that their impermanence makes them even more precious. You inhale the fragrance of the blossoms above, a scent sweet and fleeting, existing only now. You exhale, feeling the gentle surrender that accompanies acceptance. The Buddha's presence glows like a quiet sunrise behind your awareness. His compassion holds you with the tenderness of someone who understands the full arc of becoming, how life shapes you again and again, how change molds your strength. how impermanence refines your heart. As you rise from beneath the tree, a soft wind gathers, lifting a swirl of petals into the air. They drift forward across the field, as though pointing the way. You follow their movement, sensing that beyond this truth of impermanence lies another teaching, one that grows from understanding change and meeting it with resilience. The petals lead you toward a path lined with smooth stones, where the earth seems to hum with a quiet strength, ready to be discovered in the moments ahead. The path of smooth stones curves gently away from the blossoming tree, guiding your steps into a quieter stretch of land, where the moonlight softens into a silver haze. The air grows still again, yet this stillness feels different, denser, fuller, as though the earth beneath you is gathering its breath. You walk slowly, sensing something steady and ancient rising from the ground, meeting the rhythm of your steps with a quiet resonance. Here, the world feels rooted, grounded, unshaken. As you continue forward, the path leads to a wide, open clearing where a single boulder rests at its center. It is large and time-worn, smooth from years of wind and rain. Moss grows gently along its base, and tiny white flowers bloom in the cracks along its surface. The stone radiates a calm strength, not imposing, not aggressive, simply present in its solid stillness. You feel drawn to it, as though the boulder holds a teaching meant just for you. The Buddha's presence settles softly behind your awareness, a warm and compassionate glow that deepens the moment. His guidance rises like a gentle tide. True strength is not loud. It is the quiet power that remains steady when the world shifts. You sit beside the boulder and rest your hand upon its surface. It is cool, grounding, unwavering beneath your touch. As your palm rests there, you feel its solidity begin to echo within your own body, moving through your arm, your chest, your spine. You begin to sense a quiet power rising inside you, not sharp or tense, but deep and calm, like the low hum of the earth itself. You close your eyes and breathe. Inhale, and feel your body expand gently. Exhale, and sense yourself settling deeper into the ground. The breath becomes an anchor, drawing you inward. As you sink into your own awareness, memories of your life begin to float softly to the surface. Moments when you believed you were weak, when doubt clouded your decisions, when fear led you to hide parts of yourself, when exhaustion made you feel as though you could not continue. These memories rise not to burden you, but to reveal something you could not see then. Because you did continue. You kept breathing. You kept trying. You endured. The Buddha's presence strengthens around you, embracing each memory with compassion. Your strength has always been here, the teaching whispers. It shows itself not in triumph, but in gentleness, patience, resilience, and the courage to rise again. You breathe deeper, and the truth of this begins to settle into your bones. Your strength has never been loud or dramatic. It has lived quietly in your persistence, in your tenderness, in your willingness to grow. Every time you softened instead of hardened, every time you forgave instead of turning away, every time you chose compassion over fear, you strengthened something sacred within yourself. The wind stirs gently, brushing your skin with cool night air. The trees surrounding the clearing sway with a quiet rhythm, moving with effortless grace. Even the smallest branch holds its own weight, its own resilience, bending without breaking. You realize that inner strength is this same kind of flexibility, a soft but steady endurance, a willingness to bend so you do not shatter. You place both hands on the boulder now, letting its grounded presence merge with your breath. Each inhale draws stability upward through your body. Each exhale sends tension dissolving into the earth. You begin to feel rooted, supported by the ground below, supported by your own heart within. A warm glow forms in your chest, spreading outward like ripples in a calm lake. It is not fire. It is not force. It is the quiet power of presence, the strength that arises when you stop fighting yourself, when you meet each moment with openness instead of resistance. This strength is steady, enduring, trustworthy. Gradually, you open your eyes. The clearing seems brighter now, illuminated not only by the moon, but by the calm, grounded energy awakening inside you. Even the shadows feel softer, shaped by a confidence that does not depend on anything external. You feel taller, even while sitting. You feel anchored, even while breathing gently. You feel whole, even while the world continues to change around you. You rise slowly, your hand lingering on the boulder in a silent gesture of gratitude. The Buddha's presence shines warmly, reflecting the strength blooming inside you. You sense that this inner stability, this grounded calm, will carry you through challenges, through change, through every season of your life. As you step away from the boulder, the clearing opens into a wide, serene expanse, where the air grows even softer, and a profound tranquility gathers like morning mist across the land. You feel the quiet promise in the air, a deeper peace waiting to unfold, a peace not dependent on circumstances but arising from the stillness within. You follow the gentle path toward that tranquil space, ready to explore the calm that grows naturally from inner strength. The path leads you gently away from the grounded clearing, and the air begins to shift, growing even softer, even more serene, as though the night has drawn a long, quiet breath. The sounds of the world fall into a gentle hush. The breeze slows. Even the distant rustle of leaves becomes faint and tender, like a lullaby. The earth hums to itself. As you continue walking, the landscape opens into a vast, velvety plain, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. The light is diffused, gentle as silk, settling across the ground in silver-blue waves. You feel something inside you respond to this softness almost instantly. Your breath loosens. Your muscles melt. Your heart, once filled with the subtle flickers of thought and feeling, begins to rest in a deeper rhythm. This plain invites a kind of peace that does not merely soothe you. It envelops you, wraps around you, and guides you inward, like warm water, embracing your body during a still bath. You move toward the center of the plain, where the grass grows thick and plush beneath your feet. Each step feels like sinking into a soft cushion, grounding you without effort. The Buddha's presence appears here with an even gentler radiance than before, no longer a guiding flame, but a subtle glow within your awareness, quiet and reassuring. His compassion is so soft, so expansive, that it seems to dissolve any lingering tension you carried, leaving no corner of your being untouched by peace. A quiet truth rises from this presence. Deep peace is not found by seeking silence, but by resting fully in the awareness that watches all things come and go. You settle onto the grass, allowing your body to sink deeply into its comforting softness. The earth feels warm beneath you, as if it has been waiting patiently for your arrival. You lie back or sit, whatever your body prefers, and let your weight be held by the ground. Above, the sky opens in an endless expanse of stars, each one shimmering with steady, gentle light. Their glow mirrors the quiet calm rising from within you. With every breath, you descend further into the sanctuary of awareness. Inhale, and feel the world widen. Exhale, and feel yourself soften into that spaciousness. Your mind begins to grow quieter, not because you are forcing it to be still, but because awareness itself is rising, soft, luminous, steady. Awareness does not push thoughts away. It simply illuminates them, holds them gently, and allows them to pass like clouds moving across a moonlit sky. As thoughts drift through your mind, you see them clearly and kindly, watching them dissolve without feeling the need to grasp or resist. A sense of profound tranquility spreads through your chest. It moves up your spine, down your arms, through your legs, until your entire body feels suspended in peace, light, warm, and deeply rooted all at once. You begin to sense that this peace is not something external. It is your natural state, beneath the layers of worry, tension, and thought. It is the quiet glow that has lived within you all along, waiting for the world to soften enough for you to notice it. The Buddha's presence deepens, and the teaching becomes clear. When awareness is soft and open, peace flows naturally, without effort, without striving. You listen to the soft pulse of your breath. It moves like a tide, slow and steady. The ground beneath you supports every part of you with effortless kindness. You allow yourself to rest fully, knowing there is nothing to do, nothing to fix, nothing to prepare. You are simply here. And here, in this moment, is enough. A slow warmth begins to gather above your heart, a gentle glow that grows brighter with each breath. It expands outward, filling your chest, your abdomen, your arms, your legs, until your entire body is bathed in this warm, luminous presence. This glow is awareness itself, pure, peaceful, untroubled. It neither clings nor pushes away. It holds everything with unconditional softness. The night seems to respond to this inner light. The stars shimmer more brightly. The grass glows faintly beneath you, and the air becomes warmer, as though the universe itself is leaning closer to cradle you in comfort. Your breath deepens into an even slower rhythm, one so gentle it feels like the breath of sleep approaching. You sense the edges of your awareness soften. Your mind drifts. Your body settles. Every part of you feels safe, held, and cherished in this soft glow. This is the kind of peace that prepares the heart for rest. The peace that invites sleep, not through exhaustion, but through deep surrender. As you continue to lie in this tranquil expanse, the Buddha's presence gently shifts. It becomes lighter, quieter, dimming into a soft whisper within your awareness. Not leaving, only inviting you to enter an even deeper rest, a deeper quiet that requires no guidance, only the gentle rhythm of breath and being. Ahead, the plain seems to blur into a field of even deeper stillness, a space shaped not for reflection, but for surrender, a place where the body and mind are invited to drift into the embrace of true rest. You feel the pull of that deeper stillness, warm and peaceful, waiting just beyond the horizon of your awareness, ready to guide you into the preparation for sleep. The velvety plain of stillness grows softer around you, as though the night itself has begun to lower its voice. The moon hangs brighter, yet gentler, bathing everything in a silver glow that spreads like calm water over your mind. Even the air feels slower now, moving in long, quiet waves that match the rhythm of your breath. As you rest upon the soft grass, your body sinks deeper into comfort, and the subtle hum of awareness settles into a warm, drowsy glow. Everything around you seems to whisper that it is time to drift, time to let go, time to surrender to the sweetness of rest. The Buddha's presence emerges once more, tender and luminous, forming like moonlit mist at the edges of your consciousness. His energy does not stir you awake, it soothes you, guiding you gently toward a deeper, dream-soft quiet. His presence feels now not like a teacher before you, but like a calming tide within you, rising and falling with each slow breath you take. The night grows warmer around this presence, as though his compassion radiates a heat that gently melts the final remnants of tension you hold. You breathe in. The air enters your body like cool silk, spreading calm from your chest to your fingertips. You breathe out. Your entire being exhales into the earth, sinking a little deeper, unclenching, unwinding. You feel the muscles along your back soften, the tightness behind your eyes dissolve, and the weight in your limbs melt into the ground. Even your thoughts move slower now, drifting like pale petals across a quiet lake, dissolving on the surface before they can disturb the stillness below. The Buddha's voice begins to rise, not spoken aloud, but carried on the soft currents of the wind that drift across your skin. It is a voice made of moonlight, warm, rhythmic, and impossibly gentle. The words are felt more than heard. Rest now, child of the earth. You have walked far. You have opened your heart. You have softened your burdens. Let the night carry you where effort has no place. The voice moves through your consciousness, like the slow stroke of a hand smoothing a blanket over your body. Each phrase lowers you further into the cradle of sleepiness, encouraging you to surrender one breath at a time. Every inhale grows shallower, every exhale longer, softer, slower. Your body begins to drift, not fully asleep, not fully awake, floating in the warm, glimmering space between. Above you, the stars shimmer more gently now, their light pulsing like tiny heartbeats across the sky. You feel their glow brushing your skin, cooling your forehead, softening your mind. The grass beneath you warms to your shape, offering perfect support, perfect stillness, perfect ease. The world has become a lullaby. Each sound, each breath, each sensation folding into a harmonious song, meant only to guide you toward rest. You feel the Buddha's presence at your back, surrounding you like a cloak of moonlit air. His compassion holds you, supporting your descent into drowsiness with infinite patience. You sense his gentle guidance in the drifting of the wind, in the whisper of the grass, in the slow rhythm of your breathing. Let go, the wind seems to say. Release, the grasses murmur. Rest, your breath replies. Your thoughts begin to blur at the edges, their shapes softening, stretching, dissolving into imagery that comes and goes like drifting dreams. You are no longer following them. They float in and out without asking anything of you. Colors rise, fade, reappear. Soft shapes melt into one another. A pleasant heaviness spreads through your limbs, pulling you deeper into the pillow of earth beneath you. The Buddha's voice returns, quieter now, almost indistinguishable from your own inner whisper. You are safe. You are held. You are free to rest. These words echo within the chambers of your mind like long, slow ripples moving across still water. You breathe them in, letting their reassurance sink into the quiet spaces of your heart. The warmth within your chest spreads downward, relaxing your belly, loosening your hips, softening your legs until even your toes feel drowsy. All around you, the night begins to thicken with dreamlike softness. The horizon blurs. The air becomes velvety and warm. The stars seem to sway in a slow, gentle dance. Your awareness drifts like a small boat floating away from the shore, unmoored, weightless, gliding toward deeper rest. Your breath grows quieter. Your mind grows dimmer. Your body grows wonderfully heavy and warm. In this softened state, you begin to sense another shift in the night, an even gentler realm, waiting just beyond this peaceful drift. A place where dreams rise like lanterns on still water, glowing softly in the moonlit quiet. A place where the lessons you've learned transform into gentle visions that guide your heart deeper into healing sleep. With your final waking breath, you feel yourself drawn toward this dreamlike realm, ready to drift into it as easily as a petal carried by the wind. The boundary between waking and dreaming softens, like mist dissolving into moonlight. You feel yourself drifting gently, carried on a warm current of sleep that lifts you from the velvety plain and into a new, luminous landscape. There is no moment of transition, No break, no shift, only the sense of floating seamlessly into a realm shaped from silence, softness, and the deep peace blooming within your heart. Colors begin to glow behind your closed eyes. Pale gold, gentle rose, soft blue, each hue swaying in a slow rhythmic dance, as though breathing with you. Your feet touch the ground, or perhaps only the memory of ground, for the dream world beneath you is weightless and warm, like stepping onto clouds spun from light. Each step sends a ripple of brightness outward, gentle rings of pale luminescence that expand and fade into the vast, glowing expanse. The air here is warm with a tender sweetness, scented faintly with blossoms that do not exist in the waking world. Fragrances woven from serenity, from peace, from the soft glow of awareness that has guided you through every chapter of this journey. Shapes begin to form in the dreamlight. Tall arching pathways carved from radiant mist. Fields of luminous flowers whose petals shimmer with iridescence. Distant hills rising like waves frozen in time. Everything glows, yet nothing overwhelms. The light is soothing, cradling your senses in calm. You feel lighter than you ever have. Your steps effortless, your breath floating through you like a gentle breeze. You walk deeper into this world of shimmering calm. The Buddha's presence accompanies you as a quiet glow at your side. Not a form, not a voice, but a warm awareness that keeps the dream steady, soft and free of fear. His compassion shapes the dream's texture, ensuring that every flicker of light, every breath of wind, feels comforting and safe. This dream is not a place of escape. It is a sanctuary, a reflection of the peace you've cultivated within yourself. Ahead, a luminous river appears, flowing with liquid starlight. The water glows softly, moving with a rhythm that mirrors your breath. You kneel beside it, dipping your fingers into the cool, shimmering surface. The water responds, brightening where you touch it, sending gentle ripples of light drifting down its length. These ripples illuminate the riverbed below, revealing smooth stones carved with ancient symbols of compassion, patience, joy, equanimity. Each one appears briefly before the current carries it onward, reminding you that even in dreams, wisdom flows continuously. As you rise, the dream shifts subtly around you. The sky deepens into a soft violet glow, studded with drifting orbs of light that float like glowing seeds carried by a silent wind. They drift closer, circling you in slow, spiraling paths. When one passes near your hand, it radiates a warmth so gentle you feel it melt through your skin, relaxing your muscles even further. These lights feel like blessings, small messengers of ease and comfort sent to guide your dreaming steps. You continue walking, and the landscape opens into a field of glowing lotus flowers, stretching as far as the dream horizon. Each lotus emits a soft, pulsing glow, like the steady breath of a sleeping world. As you walk through them, the petals open slightly, releasing tiny sparks of light that float upward into the deep violet sky. Each spark drifts slowly, weightlessly, like an offering of peace returned to the universe. You pause, feeling the quiet beauty of the dream settle into every corner of your being. Here there is no striving, no tension, no expectation. The dream carries you effortlessly, shaping itself to your inner calm. With each breath, you feel yourself sinking deeper into serenity, drifting farther from the concerns of the waking world. The Buddha's presence becomes even more tender now, wrapping around your awareness like a soft shawl of moonlit warmth. His whisper rises from within, felt rather than heard. Rest in this light. You are safe here. Let your heart wander freely. Dream gently. Dream peacefully. Dream with ease. You feel your dream body soften, your steps growing slower, your mind sinking deeper into this world of luminous tranquility. The landscape begins to blur slightly at the edges, not from fading, but from deepening. Colors melt into one another, becoming softer, more fluid, preparing you for a dream sleep that carries no edges, no weight. A warm breeze drifts through the lotus field, carrying petals of light that swirl around you in slow spirals. They lift you gently, as if cradling you in their glow, guiding you onward through the softening dream. The horizon brightens with a pearly luminescence, promising a deeper realm of rest just beyond the shifting veil. Floating within this warm glow, you feel yourself slipping more fully into the dream, drifting, sinking, floating, guided toward a gentler space within sleep where the heart releases all remaining strain. And as the lotus field fades into soft radiance, the next realm of quiet healing begins to form, waiting to welcome you with open, glowing calm. The luminous dreamscape around you begins to thin, softening into a mist of warm radiance that drifts like clouds bathed in starlight. The petals of glowing lotus light that once swirled gently around you now dissolve into shimmering particles, each one floating upward, as if returning to the very source of serenity. Your body feels lighter still, as though gravity itself has loosened its hold. A warm, enveloping stillness expands through the dream until even the faintest sense of edges, of form, of space, of direction, begins to blur. A subtle hum permeates the air, steady and soothing, like a single note sung by the universe. It vibrates through your awareness, not loud, but deeply resonant, and with every breath you feel yourself drifting toward its center. The sound seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, rising not only from the dream around you, but also from the quietest place within your own heart. Its warmth invites you forward with infinite gentleness. As you glide through the soft radiance, the mist parts to reveal a vast expanse unlike anything you've seen before. It stretches endlessly in all directions, filled with a glow that is neither light nor darkness, but something deeper, a presence, a field of pure awareness. The colors here are not colors as your waking eyes understand them. They shift softly, like emotions made visible, flowing in waves of delicate gold, pale rose, and quiet blue. This place holds neither form nor boundary, yet you feel completely supported, as though resting in the infinite palm of the universe. The Buddha's presence emerges within this vastness, not as a figure standing before you, but as a profound clarity blooming inside your chest. The radiance within you expands, meeting the radiance around you, until the two are indistinguishable. His compassion is the space itself. His wisdom is the quiet hum. His serenity fills the boundless expanse. Here, the distinction between teacher and student dissolves into pure awareness. A soft teaching rises from the depths of this luminous field, neither spoken nor imagined, but understood through the heart. Peace is not something to reach. It is something you are, beneath all that you carry. These words resonate through your body with exquisite tenderness. You feel every layer of tension, every old sorrow, every whisper of fear loosen, like threads slipping free from a woven cloth. They fall away effortlessly, dissolving into the luminous expanse around you. Nothing is pushed out, nothing is resisted. The vast awareness simply receives everything with infinite softness until all dissolves into its gentle glow. Your breath becomes slow and spacious. Each inhale expands your awareness outward, touching the edges of the glowing horizon. Each exhale draws the horizon inward until it rests within your chest. For the first time, you feel the fullness of being completely present without effort. No striving, no longing, no holding. You exist freely within this luminous truth. All things arise, all things pass, and beneath every moment lies a peace that cannot be taken away. As you drift through this boundless space, small ripples of light move toward you. They touch your awareness with the softness of warm rain. Each ripple carries an echo of a teaching you have encountered on your journey. The wind whispering impermanence, the stream carrying away sorrows, the lotus unfolding with patience, the boulder offering strength, the breath revealing presence. Each teaching returns to you now, not separate or fragmented, but woven together into a single tapestry of understanding. You feel them integrate within you, each one settling gently into its place like stars forming a constellation. What once felt like many truths now feels like one, simple, steady, radiant. You begin to understand that the path does not lead to Nirvana as a destination. Rather, it reveals the Nirvana that has always lived at your core. For a moment that feels timeless, you rest completely, held by the infinite, embraced by the boundless peace that permeates everything. This is the threshold where the self grows quiet enough for truth to shine. This is the space where all tension dissolves, where all becoming pauses, where awareness rests in its purest form. The peace here is not fragile. It is vast, ancient, and enduring. Gradually, the luminous expanse begins to shift, not fading, but gently condensing, as though drawing its infinite wisdom into a form you can carry back with you. The soft glow remains, but it folds inward, gathering near your heart like a warm flame cupped gently in your hands. You sense that this flame will guide your steps in the moments ahead, illuminating not only the dream, but the waking world that awaits beyond sleep. The infinite field continues to shimmer around you, but you feel a quiet pull, a gentle movement guiding you toward a new horizon within the dream. The mist brightens, forming a soft pathway leading deeper into awareness. Here, the teachings you have absorbed begin to merge, preparing to become one integrated truth, whole and clear. And with your next breath, you drift forward, carried by the glow that now lives within you. The radiant expanse around you softens once more, folding into a gentle haze of color that drifts like dawn mist over a quiet field. The infinite glow begins to condense into something more intimate, closer, warmer. A steady light that gathers around your heart like cupped hands sheltering a flame. You feel yourself drifting downward through layers of softness, as though floating slowly from the boundless sky toward a peaceful earth. Nothing is lost. Nothing fades. Instead, everything you have learned settles naturally inside you, weightless and warm, like dew forming on grass at first light. The luminous landscape around you transforms into a vast meadow illuminated by an early dreamlike dawn. The sky glows with pale gold and soft rose, colors that seem to breathe in slow rhythmic waves. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the faint scent of morning blossoms opening to greet the day. As your feet touch the ground, the grass bends gently beneath you, welcoming your return with quiet tenderness. This meadow feels familiar, yet new, like a place shaped not by memory, but by understanding. You walk slowly, feeling the teachings you've gathered along your journey settling into your being with every step. The truth of impermanence glimmers in the shifting colors of the sky. The strength you discovered resonates through the earth beneath your feet. The peace you learned to nurture hums softly in the rhythm of your breath. None of the lessons feel separate anymore. They blend seamlessly, forming a single field of wisdom within your awareness. Smooth, fluid, alive. A faint breeze rises, stirring through the meadow with a whisper so delicate it feels like the world exhaling a blessing. The dew on the grass sparkles with tiny reflections of light, each droplet a reminder of clarity, each shimmer a quiet echo of compassion. You pause and kneel, letting your fingers brush through the cool dew, feeling its freshness gather on your skin. In this simple touch, something becomes clear. Wisdom does not need effort to take hold. It settles naturally when the heart is soft, open, and unburdened. The Buddha's presence begins to form once more, not as a figure beside you, but as a gentle radiance within the meadow itself, an atmosphere of compassion and clarity that deepens the more you breathe. His guidance rises through your chest like a warm tide. All you have learned now lives within you, not as separate teachings, but as one quiet, steady understanding. You close your eyes and let the truth unfold inside you. You remember the wind that taught you impermanence, the stream that carried sorrows away, the lotus that revealed patience, the boulder that showed you strength, the glowing plain that offered rest, the dream world that illuminated awareness, the vast expanse that revealed boundless peace. Each teaching was a step. Each step was a part of a single path, your path, leading gently inward. With each breath, this realization deepens. Inhale, and the heart expands in quiet recognition. Exhale, and the teachings settle deeper, like dew soaking into soft earth. You rise again and walk through the meadow. As you move, the world around you glows with a soft clarity. Every blade of grass, every drifting petal, every shimmer of light seems to reflect the wisdom you now carry. You sense that nothing in this journey has been separate from you. Every teaching came from the world within, as much as the world around. The Buddha's presence was always a mirror, a reflection of the compassion, strength, and peace already alive in your heart. A small bird glides overhead, its wings catching the early dawn light. It circles once, twice, then descends gracefully onto a nearby stone. Its presence feels symbolic, a reminder that when the heart is open, even the simplest things become teachers. You watch the bird breathe, its tiny chest rising and falling with perfect ease. In its stillness, in its simplicity, you see the essence of everything you've learned. To be present, to be patient, to move lightly, to let go freely, to trust the unfolding path. As you continue walking, the sky brightens with a soft radiance that feels like a promise. The dawn does not rush. It does not push. It opens slowly, naturally, like the petals of a flower unfurling to greet the day. The world around you mirrors this gentle unfolding, reminding you that integration is not an action, but a settling, an allowing of truth to rest where it belongs. You feel the dew collecting on your ankles as you walk through the tall grass. The coolness is soothing, grounding you in this dreamlike dawn. Each step brings a deeper sense of peaceful clarity. You are not trying to remember the teachings. You are simply walking with them, letting them move through your breath, your awareness, your body. They are no longer lessons. They are part of you, natural and effortless. Ahead, a warm glow begins to form at the far edge of the meadow. It pulses gently, invitingly, as though calling you toward the final blessing of this long, peaceful journey. The air warms slightly, carrying a sense of completion, the feeling of a path, walked with sincerity, and a heart transformed by gentle understanding. With the teachings settled within you like morning dew, you move toward that glowing horizon, ready for the Buddha's closing blessing. The warm glow at the far edge of the meadow brightens as you approach, rising like a soft sunrise within the dream. Its light is tender, not blinding, warm enough to soothe, gentle enough to hold you without stirring the mind awake. The air thickens with calm, carrying the faint scent of lotus petals and morning rain. Each breath you take becomes slower, quieter, softer, as though the world is guiding you gently toward the final embrace of rest. You step into the heart of the glow, and the meadow around you dissolves into a spacious field of pure golden light. It expands in all directions, warm and comforting, like a blanket woven from compassion itself. You feel no weight here, no expectation, no thought, only the steady presence of peace, deep, nourishing, complete. From within this luminous stillness, the Buddha's presence forms one final time, not as a distant guide, not as a subtle whisper, but as a radiant warmth that fills the entire space around you. You do not see him with your eyes, you sense him with your whole being. His presence is calm, unshakable, vast, yet infinitely gentle, like a steady hand resting on your shoulder, offering support without a single word spoken. The soft hum of the universe rises once more, resonating in perfect harmony with your slowing breath. In this resonance, the Buddha's blessing begins to unfold, not with instruction, not with teaching, but with quiet reassurance carried through the silence. You have walked far. You have opened your heart. You have learned what you needed to learn. Now rest. I am here. These words enter your awareness like warm waves, each one sinking deeper into your chest, dissolving the last traces of tension. Your mind loosens further, thoughts fading into soft, indistinct shapes. Your breath grows even lighter, drifting in and out like a calm tide returning to shore. Peace fills the quiet space behind your eyes, settling like soft sand in a still pool. You lie down within the golden light, whether on grass, on air, or on pure radiance, you cannot tell. Everything beneath you is soft and weightless, supporting you in perfect comfort. Your body feels like it's melting into the glow, becoming part of the warm field around you. Each limb grows heavier in the sweetest way, as though the earth itself has cupped your entire being in gentle hands. The Buddha's presence leans closer, not physically but energetically, wrapping around you with immeasurable compassion. You feel it like a warm shawl settling over your shoulders, gathering beneath your head, covering your heart with infinite tenderness. This presence asks nothing of you. It simply holds you, fully and completely, in a peaceful embrace that reminds you, you are safe. You are watched over. You may sleep without fear. The golden light grows softer, dimming slightly now, not fading away, but adjusting to match the rhythm of your slowing breath. It settles into a glow that feels like a perfect lullaby, warm enough to soothe, gentle enough to lull every part of you into ease. The edges of your awareness drift outward, becoming porous, thin, soft. Your body grows heavier still, sinking into a quiet so deep it feels like floating. A breeze of pure calm moves across your face. The Buddha's blessing flows with it. Let the world slip from your hands. Let the night cradle your thoughts. Rest in the peace you have found. I remain here as you sleep. Your breath becomes barely noticeable now, a slow, almost imperceptible rise and fall. The golden light pulses lightly with each inhale and exhale, responding to your presence, holding you gently in its warmth. The sound of the world fades completely into silence. Even the hum of dreamlight quiets until there is only stillness, vast, comforting, velvety. You feel yourself drifting downward, inward, softly sinking into a depth of rest deeper than anything you have known tonight. The Buddha's presence remains, steady as a mountain, soft as moonlight, warm as a lantern flame in a quiet room. His awareness surrounds you like a shield made of pure compassion. Every breath you take is supported by his gentle watchfulness. Every moment of sleep unfolds under his protection. You begin to slip fully into unconscious rest. Thoughts drift away entirely. The dream quiets. The world dims. Only peace remains. Peace that holds you, peace that breathes with you, peace that carries you into the deepest softening of sleep. Before your awareness fades completely, the Buddha's final whisper rises, tender as a sigh. Sleep deeply, sleep peacefully. I watch over you. The words dissolve into the warm golden glow, and then silence. A silence so complete, it feels like being wrapped in the softest, most loving night. A silence that carries you gently into sleep's embrace, where the Buddha keeps quiet vigil as you rest.